Welcome to Dude No Way Live, where we embark on a quest to play the greatest games of all time. I'm your host, Moonchild of Dude No Way, and today it is the good suck in Marvel Rivals. We're going to be diving in today. We're going to be playing a little bit of Wanda, a little Scarlet Witch action going on here today as we dive into some quick play games and attempt to have a good time despite despite our best efforts to ruin it yesterday. It actually went pretty well. I was having a pretty good time enjoying myself on some Adam Warlock. That's not how it was supposed to go at all. I was intending to troll everyone with the absolute terrible gameplay that comes when you pick Adam Warlock. What ended up happening is that there were a few games where we were just outshined by the actual healers, because Adam Warlock is like Adam Warlock is like if you're let's just talk about barbecue food, right? If hot dogs and hamburgers are the traditional healers, we're using this barbecue example, right? Then Adam Warlock is the coleslaw at the barbecue, right? So he's there, but does he belong? Debatable, and that's kind of how I was intending to run with yesterday's show. What ended up happening is that a lot of the times we kind of hard carried a couple of times there. So it's not that Adam Warlock is like the worst character ever. It's just that he's like very close to one of the worst characters. He is absolutely one of the worst characters in Marvel Rivals. But that being said, he has his place. Sometimes he works. Same thing can be said about Wanda as well. Scarlet Witch, while she is a pretty decent character overall, when you break it down, she's got some decent things that she can do, and she could be effective in certain scenarios, right? But most of the time, you're gonna find yourself in a position where you would have been better off just playing somebody else. And that's really what it comes down to with Wanda. It's not that she's bad, it's just that she's not good, and that her primary fire is too damage over time kind of oriented to be effective. And it's not like the Punisher, where her and the Punisher actually have pretty similar DPS when using their primary fire, with the Punisher's assault rifle, where the Punisher can get the Rocket Raccoon team up and make it so that his damage over time becomes really, really high in the moments when the Rocket Raccoon team up is possible. Wanda doesn't really have that, right? So she, as of right now, her only ability to team up with people is to give Magneto more power, but Wanda herself, who is like a fundamentally worse character than Magneto is like one of the best characters in the game already. Then you get to buff him even further with Wanda giving him the sword, right? And that makes her like a really good combo with Mag. Whereas on the opposite end of the spectrum, like Scarlet Witch is like one of the worst characters in the game. And instead of giving her a team up to make her slightly better, you instead give someone else a team up, which, does that make sense? I don't know. I didn't design the game though, so I don't know why they make the decisions they make, dude. I just work here. So here we go. And we're going to be diving in today. We have a lot to talk about first, though. There is a lot going on inside of the Marvel Rivals universe. We have Season 2 launching on April 11th. And because of that, there is a massive fuck ton of news to go over today. So we're going to be talking about all of the news that I found out in the last 24 hours. We're going to be reacting to a few videos. We're going to be talking about some balance changes. We're going to be going over some of the broader changes to the game. There's also some new costumes in the store and stuff that we have to cover as well. So we'll get to the Scarlet Witch in a little while. We'll be doing some other stuff in the meantime. And when we do get to her, we'll play some games and we'll get to enjoy a little bit of that. But there's just so much to talk about right now that I feel like we'd be doing ourselves and you guys a disservice if we didn't open the show with all of the massive news that we have to go over today. So let's get started with that. Just want to switch over here and just see. Shirt feels weird. Yeah, it looks weird too. All right, let's do a little bit of that. Let's do a little bit of this. Just fix myself. That's slightly better. It just feels like off center, that's like, you ever have like a shirt or like a pair of pants or something that when you put it on, it feels like there are some days when it's normal and then there are some days when it just like doesn't feel like it fits right? Like that's this shirt. I don't know why. I don't know what the deal is with this one specific shirt, but like every time I put it on, it just feels like it's weird, like it's in a weird place or something. Maybe they put the logo on kind of like off center. I'm not sure. But when I put it on to what should feel like the normal way to wear a shirt, it feels like stretched, like pulled in like the neck area. I don't know, man. Super weird. But anywho. So let's go ahead and swap scenes real quick, because like I said, we do have a lot to talk about here. And the first thing we got to go over is the brand new trailer that launched yesterday. It is the Dev Vision. Let's see, I'm just gonna move that there. Okay, so we got to talk about this. We got to react to this video. Got to watch this video. It is the Season 2 Hellfire Gala Dev Vision, and it's going to be important that we check all this out, we listen to everything that they have to say, and we take a moment here and just kind of appreciate what all they are doing for Marvel Rivals on the whole. We're going to go ahead and make this large. I just want to, I think I want to put my camera, like, I don't know, like down. First, let me do this. First, let me put my camera back where it belongs. And then we'll just drag it down here to the bottom corner. And I think that'll work. I think that'll be fine for now. And then we can take it from there. All right. That is good. That is good. Just checking on the back end, making sure that we're good in all of the places here. Let's do this. Let's do this. I got it. Thank you. Thank you so much, Twitch. Please get out of my goddamn face. YouTube is good. Twitch is good. It says the bitrate is low again. Go fuck yourself. I don't understand why that happens to me. Okay. We're good to go. All right, so this is the Season 2 Hellfire Gala Dev Vision Volume 5, the newest release here for Marvel Rivals, talking about Season 2. Let's dive into it. Hell yeah, I like the music.
Dear Rivals, Guang Guang here. Welcome to Season 2 of Marvel Rivals.
I see, so we're gonna have the text down there at the bottom, so I'm just gonna lift myself up, put myself at the top there, just in case. I don't want to cut off the text so that you guys can't understand what is actually happening. All right, let's go. New heroes, new maps, and new team-ups. Let's go.
After the intense Eternal Night saga and the defeat of Dracula, Emma Frost has prepared a lavish celebration, inviting everyone to don their best attire and venture to the mutant heaven of the living island Krakoa.
Awesome. All right, cool. This is stuff we already found out from yesterday, but looks like Emma Frost coming to the game. Brand new map in Krakoa, which is like Magneto's mutant island, if you guys didn't know, where Magneto and all of his villainous mutants, you know, whether you want to believe they're villains or not, that's up to you to decide, but that's where they chill out.
For the annual Hellfire Gala. But as we all know, heroes never truly get a peaceful vacation. The uninvited Ultron has crashed the party.
Well,
and the attending heroes must spring into action to protect Krakoa's greatest treasure from his grasp.
Wow, sounds like it's going to be a shit party. Thanks a lot, Ultron.
Is a formidable vanguard, a master of telepathy and a shining diamond on the battlefield.
Hell yeah. So, Emma Frost coming out as a Vanguard. We kind of had a feeling she would be a Vanguard. I talked about this yesterday, but this does give a nice opportunity for people who want to play a female Vanguard, like a really tough Vanguard character who is also female. It gives them an opportunity to do that. I think it is very important that we get this representation in the game. However, I will say, and I've seen a lot of discourse about this, I don't know how everybody feels about it, but for me, personally, I don't really care, but it seems like a lot of people are getting tired of seeing white women with blonde hair, since we just had, we had Cloak and Dagger already. We have Sue Storm as well, and there's one more I'm spacing on. But anyway, Emma Frost, another one. White and blue outfit, white woman, blonde hair. A lot of people are getting pissed off about that. But dude, I mean, this is what the characters are, right? So it's not just that they're just choosing to implement characters that look like this. They also are, like, choosing characters that are the right fit for the game. And I think adding a new Vanguard was absolutely the right fit. It is the least popular role by a long shot. So I think it's important to make sure that we have as much diversity in the Vanguard role as humanly possible.
She can adeptly utilize her telepathic and diamond abilities as
cool.
The situation demands.
Nice.
Standing at the forefront to show her allies and obliterate her foes. And
she's a tough bitch, got it.
Stay tuned for the exciting updates in Season 2.5. In Season...
is that a teaser for potentially Ultron coming out as a playable character? I feel like no. I still feel like no. But potentially, maybe. You know, they saying stay tuned for the updates in Season 2.5. That means like a month from now, 6 weeks from now, or something like that, we'll hear more about Ultron. But with him being the villain, can he really become a playable character in the same season that he is like the main villain? I don't know.
Season 2, we will introduce the first adjustments to team-up abilities. Welcoming new team-ups.
Whoa. Welcoming new team-ups. All right, let's go. Okay, so this is the old stuff. This is what we already have, at least as far as I can tell. Let's see. We've got a... and we've got some new ones in this as well. So, as we look, we can see the new ones have the new tag over in the corner here. So we've still got our Gamma Charge, the Symbiote Bond, the Planet X Pals, etc., Ragnarok Rebirth. So basically, most of the things that are still in the game are remaining in the game. But it does look like we are losing the team up with Wanda and Magneto, which I talked about a little while ago. So that's pretty wild to think that that team up is going away. That means Magneto is no longer going to have his big sword, which, you know, as one of the best characters in the game already, I don't know that he necessarily needed another ability that is actually really good, you know, but that does take away a little bit of his versatility. And we are seeing down here, we're also losing the team up between Storm, Captain America, and Thor. So when Thor was on a team with Storm and Captain America, Thor enabled these two characters to get a lightning ability, and that is now going away, at least based on this, that is going away. So that's going to be wild. But we do have some new ones here down in the bottom and over on the right. We've got Arcane Order with what appears to be Doctor Strange and Wanda. We've got a new one here. Let me see if I can get this text to go away so that I can at least read it real fast.
While tweaking or removing some existing ones, we hope.
Oh, it didn't give me a lot of time there.
If
you hate.
Oh, no, not an ad. Okay, I'm just gonna mute the ad real quick. I'm not sure if the ad was intentional or if I accidentally skipped the video. Let's find out here. I think I went too far forward. Where was I? Let's turn the sound back on.
December, to a certain extent, we agree.
No, that's not it.
And a signing for Ultron. Stay tuned for the exciting updates.
All right, there we go.
Season 2.5.
All right, come on.
In Season 2, we will introduce the first adjustments to team-up abilities.
Okay, there we go. So I can at least read it now. So we've got Stars Aligned, which is a team-up with Captain America and Bucky. Looks like there's going to be some kind of fist-pounding action based on the icon. And then we have Mental, well, I'm going to assume that says Projection, which is a team-up where Emma Frost gives Magneto and Psylocke a brand new power. So that's kind of cool. So Bucky's going to get a brand new power in this update, as well as Magneto and Psylocke, which I guess is good since Magneto is losing the team up with Scarlet Witch. I guess it's good that they're giving him kind of like a different ability. Hopefully it's not too powerful. I'm interested to see what it does for Psylocke as well. And then Wanda, Scarlet Witch, is going to be getting a brand new ability when teamed up with Doctor Strange. So you don't see Scarlet Witch too often, but Doctor Strange is in the meta pretty hard, no matter what rank you're in, so I do think that'll be interesting. It looks like the rest of them are all sticking around. Where is the team-up with Magic and Black Panther? This is what I wanted to see. I had a feeling this was going to happen. So, if you look at the dimensional shortcut team up here with Magic and Black Panther, you're seeing that Psylocke is now gone from this team up, where Psylocke was a part of this, and it gave her the ability to kind of rewind time and give herself some bonus health, taking her back, I want to say it was 5 seconds. Whenever she had a Magic on her team, she would gain a new ability that let her do that. Her new team up is going to be with Emma Frost and not with Magic, so that's very interesting.
Welcoming new team-ups while tweaking or removing some existing ones. We hope that these dynamic changes will enhance our heroes and gameplay environment with even more thrilling experiences.
All right, cool. I'm excited for that. Roadmap ahead. Let's do it, baby. Let's do it.
Since the launch of Season 1, we've been deeply contemplating how Marvel Rivals can continuously deliver fun and engaging experiences for you all. During this time, several discussions on social media have certainly added some pressure on us.
Dude, no way. Are you serious? The, social media has pressured you into doing things? I'd have never guessed, bro. What with all of the loud voices angrily shouting into the void every single day. you know, I do feel a little bit bad for the devs who have to deal with this all the time. You know what I mean? These people who are just trying to come to work and do their job. Meanwhile, there's some schmuck with 3 followers on Twitter just absolutely calling them out, probably sending them nasty DMs and stuff like that as well. You know, so I do not envy any developer in any game in this this day and age where the general public and their absolute insanity can be sprinkled into your life no matter where you are, what time of day it is, where, like, what you do. You know, like, you could be a sound designer and you'll still get some guy adding you on Twitter being like, if you don't fix this, I swear to God, I'm gonna come to China. Like, this is the shit that game developers deal with every single day, so I do not envy them at all. And Mike, what's going on, dude? Welcome to the show. We are covering all of the news right now, so we're going to be covering that for a while. I intend to cut this into a YouTube video later. I was going to do yesterday's stuff into a YouTube video, but as soon as I finished the stream yesterday, as I was cooking, I started scrolling through Twitter, and I realized half of the things that we speculated about in the show yesterday had already been answered by various news outlets who had more access to these characters than I did. And also, I had already ended the show when this video went live, so we're covering that now. So if I don't respond to you in the chat, for everybody who is watching here, if I don't respond to you in the chat, it's because I am currently cutting this for a YouTube video. I want to do as little interruptions of that as possible, so I don't have to sit here for 3 hours cutting together a YouTube video later on today. I'm just going to type that in the chat real quick so that everybody knows. Just in case I don't respond to your chat messages right away, it's because I'm cutting this into a YouTube video later. And the less I talk outside of the actual content, the less editing I will have to do. Thanks for understanding. I'm not ignoring you guys. I see what you are saying. I just need you to know that I am trying to make life easier for myself for later. So, just a heads up, that's what's going on there. And now back to the video.
To keep the game as exciting as it has been since December. To a certain extent, we agree. Upon reflection, we believe the core mission of Marvel Rivals should always be to fulfill everyone's fantasies about Marvel superheroes.
I gotta respect that as well, dude. The fact that they are, like, yes, they're giving in to some of the pressures that have been placed on them by social media and various people with loud voices. The thing is, like, the game still has to be A, fun, and B, fulfill on what these actual hero power fantasies would be. And it doesn't have to be extremely competitive. This doesn't have to be the next esport of all time, you know? Like, there are a lot of esports already. I know they want to have their esports scene, and I do think that that is a good thing for them to do for the game overall and will help with the livelihood of the game long term. But I think the more important part of all of that, the more important thing that they focus on is making sure that the game is A, fun, and B, you feel like the character when you're playing the character. So whatever changes they make, and we haven't dove into them yet, but we will go through all of it in just a bit here. Whatever changes they decide to make, I hope that they focus on making the characters really good, really fun, and engaging to play, because that will get more people playing, more than, you know, balancing whether it's from the top to the bottom or from the bottom to the top. It doesn't matter. Having the game be fun is the most important thing, and I think we can all agree on that, right?
But what does that fantasy entail? Is it controlling multiple heroes simultaneously, or providing heroes with diverse experiences that transcend competitive boundaries?
Yes.
We've been exploring
yes.
modes internally, and when the prototypes are well defined, we will unveil them as special event game modes. Of course,
I do think that the addition of new modes will be a big deal. The thing is, though, we already don't have that many maps, so if they do introduce new game modes, I would like to see each new game mode be introduced with, like, a small handful of maps instead of just a single map. When a new game mode comes out, if it has, like, 3 maps instead of 1 map, then it will make the game mode a lot more fun, I think. Now, I know that's going to be difficult, especially with the cadence that they have previously set out for themselves, but when you release a new game mode and it only has 1 one map, you can actually like the map or actually like the game mode, and conversely hate the other one, and that can provide a negative experience for the consumer. So I do think that if they're going to put it out, sprinkle a diverse array of maps into when you release a new game mode, and hopefully if they do that, they can, at least we can have an objective thought on the game mode and an objective thought on the map, and have those two things be separate. Whereas if you release just one game mode, like a new game mode and only one new map, all of how we feel about both of those things are going to be mashed together into that critique. So because of that, I think it's important. I think it's important to diversify the maps that we get. And hopefully they do that. I am excited to see what new game modes they come up with, because as PvP games go, there are really only so many game modes that you can have and remain like a competitive mode. You know what I mean? So whatever they do add, even if it's just like fun stuff and they put it in a separate node, like you have to click on it and like you go in, you play a different game mode, like the soccer thing with the Iron Fist, Star-Lord, Black Widow stuff, like whatever. That's totally fine with me, as long as they continue to explore and continue to iterate. I think the game will remain fun in that regard. The maps are already pretty good across the board. There's only a handful that can be questionable, and then Odin's Archive, which can suck my balls.
That remains the fundamental dream, to integrate even more exciting Marvel heroes into Marvel Rivals.
Hell yeah.
After intensive internal discussions and thorough evaluations, we've decided that starting from Season 3, the seasons will shift to a 2-month format.
What?
With the new heroes debuting each month.
What? Nuh-uh. Get out of here, dude. Get out of here, bro. They just said, like, at the release of Season 1, they said, look, we're going to release 2 new heroes, 2 at the beginning of Season 1, and 2 in the middle of Season 1 at the Season 1.5 patch, right? And that was a 6-week gap in between those. Like, now they're saying, not only are seasons going to be shortened by 33%, they're going down from 3 months down to 2 months. We're also going to get a new hero every month. Like, I don't know. Okay, first of all, that's very exciting, and I do think that's amazing. I have mixed feelings about this, right? So, I do think that's incredible. I think, hell yeah. The consumer in me is like, let's go. That sounds great. Keep releasing new stuff. This will constantly give me new things to talk about, new things to be excited about, just like they're saying, right? But also, can you keep that up long term? And that's really the hard part, That's what it comes down to. Like, can you actually sustain that for however many months and years to come, knowing that, it's going to be incredibly difficult a year from now to continue releasing a new hero every single month. Like, how are you going to balance that? I don't know. That seems, in 1 year, consider this, right? And if they keep up with that cadence, so we've got 2 months left of this season. We're going to have 2 new heroes. So we're going from, 33 to 35 in Season 2, right? And then we're getting a new hero every month, which means that by the end of, let's say, 9 months from now, we will have 45 heroes in the game all of a sudden, up from 30 when the game launched. That's kind of crazy, dude. When you think about 1 year after launch, essentially raising the number of your cast by a full 40% or something like that, that's insane. I don't know if they can keep that up long term. That seems unlikely. Hanny, what's going on, dude? It's good to see you, man. We are covering all of the stuff inside of the Season 2 reveals that have happened in the last day or two. I want to talk about everything, so there's going to be a lot of discussion here today, a lot of me reacting to stuff, a lot of me going over posts and things like that. Just a heads up, I am turning all this into a video, so if I don't respond to a lot of your guys' stuff said in the chat, that is why. I think that it is... it's gonna make my life easier to not have to respond to everything. Just real quick, did you see the new Emma Frost skin? Yes, I did. The one that's black and stuff looks pretty cool. And that skin was Star-Lord. Yes, you were right. It was Star-Lord. It looks a lot like Homelander. And the other one was Captain America. I actually saw the comparison side by side of the Captain America skin, the one with the pinstripes on the suit. That was Captain America. That is actually from a comic. It's just that his face in the game looks really weird compared to how we traditionally think of Steve Rogers. So, in my opinion, a little bit odd, but I do think that they did the skin. The skin does the character justice based on the comic side by side frame that I saw yesterday. So. Cool, very cool. I hope people like that Star-Lord skin. Looks kind of goofy to me. Looks very Homelander-esque, which is not who Star-Lord is at all. Homelander and Star-Lord are like the opposite end of the spectrum from each other. They're like sour and sweet, you know? Like they are completely separate characters in terms of their motivation, their personality, etc., etc. So, you know. All right, let's keep going.
Additionally, rated systems will be adjusted accordingly, and we will provide detailed insights before the launch of Season 3. With our goal
Okay.
of keeping the audience's excitement alive, just like our opening month, the real adventure with Marvel Rivals is just beginning.
That is exciting. I am stoked about that. It seems like a lot of content, though.
After thorough testing and analysis of backend data, we've identified that the current mission system design lacks clarity in guiding players on how to earn chrono tokens through gameplay. This has resulted in some.
Hang on, dude. I'm all right. I know that they're looking at the back-end data for this. However, I do need to say, like, the missions are pretty easily defined. It's very simple to understand. Most of the missions are like, play with this hero and do what this hero does, and they give you like 3 or 4 different heroes to be able to do it with, and then you complete the mission by just playing the game. I think that's pretty easy to understand. I want to know if you guys are having trouble understanding the missions and what you should be doing to earn chrono tokens. Please let me know so that I can make content around that a little bit. Like, I feel like if you are having trouble figuring out chrono tokens, you maybe have never played a game before. I don't know, dude. It's not that deep, bro, in my opinion.
Some active players being unable to fully claim all rewards from the Battle Pass by the end of the season. To address this issue, we are implementing weekly missions alongside the existing daily missions and challenges. While the total number of chrono tokens available will remain unchanged, we've rebalanced the distribution of points across daily, weekly, and challenge missions. This adjustment aims to provide players with a smoother expectation of the chrono tokens they can earn through regular logins and gameplay.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that, dude. It was already very easy to understand. We were already getting a bunch of chrono tokens just from playing the game. If you start spreading them out into weekly challenges and the total number of chrono tokens remains the same, that means that for those of us who don't care to do the additional stuff, who don't want to do all of the extra things, that we're going to earn less chrono tokens than we were before. I don't think it was so complicated that we needed a real adjustment to that. That's just my opinion, though.
Ensuring that active players can successfully acquire all Battle Pass rewards by the end of the season.
I got all my Battle Pass rewards. I don't know, bro. I didn't feel like it was that difficult.
In Season 2, we're excited to announce that we will begin adding new color options for some of the more popular costumes, providing even more opportunities for personalization.
All right, that's kind of cool. All right, so we've got let's just back it up to the Psylocke skin here. So we've got a recolor of the Psylocke skin, the exact same skin, just a little recolor. You know, this one is kind of white and purple instead of the, like, gray and purple that we've got over on the side. That one looks fine. And then we'll just fast forward a little. This Luna Snow skin. This is the one that you buy from the store currently. This is the recolor. Again, I think it looks fine. They just can't make these too expensive. If they make these skins, these recolors too expensive, there's going to be a lot of community backlash. And I think to avoid that, you just make these the standard, like, 600 units or whatever the normal skins are. And if you own the other color of the skin, it should probably be less expensive to buy the recolor as well, because you have to buy this. I'm pretty sure you have to buy this in a bundle, which costs like 1,600. Whereas if the recolor is only 600, but it doesn't come with the stuff from the bundle, I don't know. You might get some backlash about that too. I do think they look cool though.
Additionally, we're introducing a new feature that allows players to gift costumes to their friends.
What? Yo, let's go. We can gift costumes to each other, bro? Hell yeah, dude. All right, guys, so you know what this means. So, whenever a new costume for a character comes out, if you would like me to play that character, all you gotta do is just gift me the bundle, right? And then I will play the character on the show. All right? That sound like a deal? I feel like that's fair.
aims to foster better communication
Can you imagine?
and interaction among friends within our game.
That is cool, though. I do appreciate that, you know? That's pretty cool. Replay compatibility update.
For Season 2, we've made upgrades to our network protocols to enhance overall performance. Unfortunately, this means that replays from Season 0 and Season 1 will no longer be supported in a new client version.
All right, for those of you who don't know, replays disappearing at the start of a new patch is nothing new. Like, at the start of a new patch, in basically every game that has this, the replays from before that, they disappear. That's just how it works. Like, they can only hold so much in their servers in terms of what you can go back and rewatch anyway. If you didn't know about this, this is totally normal. This is not new. If they do increase how well you can use the replay viewer, that's awesome. But, like, no, you should not be surprised that the replays from 4 months ago are disappearing, dude. Like, why would you, first of all, why would you even go back and watch those games? And second of all, like, when a new patch comes out, you just need to expect that these things are going to disappear. That's how it works in pretty much every game that has this.
So be sure to record your favorite videos to your local hard disk before the season begins. Thanks for your support.
Thanks for your support, dude. Okay, let's just go ahead and mute this ad. So, pretty much everything that we're seeing so far looks pretty good. Alright, ad over. Let's do it. Ooh, tournament plans. Let's go.
As player excitement continues to rise, we are preparing for future tournament plans. We aim for high-level factions and players to showcase their skills on this stage.
That's kind of cool.
Presenting matches for all Marvel Rivals fans.
All right.
Next, let's welcome Zhiyong to share insights regarding the adjustments to team-up abilities and balance changes for Season 2.
Yes, we'll welcome you in a second. However, I do want to say that I do think that the tournaments are very cool. I think they drive up a lot of hype, a lot of people who want to play the game at an extremely high competitive level. That gives them a new thing to do and a new thing to advertise for themselves and, you know, talk to their communities about, like, hey, I'm doing this thing, you know, show up, watch the thing, and you guys can enjoy it. I think that's really cool. I love that they put on tournaments and stuff like that. A lot of games, they'll release their PvP stuff, and then they just don't do anything with it, and it's just like, go play the game, dude. And you're like, yeah, but what about the events? And they're like, what events, right? So, you know, I'm glad that they're doing that. That's very cool.
Hey, Rivals, Zio here.
Hello, Ziyong. Lead combat designer. Yo, let's go. All right, I hope that he's got some good stuff to tell us.
With the latest on Season 2.0, packed with dynamic changes to team-up abilities.
You'll love to hear it.
Balance adjustments and big updates to Ranked.
Sweeping balance adjustments. Stop it, I can only get so hard. All right. Dynamic evolution.
Over the past seasons, we've been thrilled by your overwhelmingly positive feedback on our team-up abilities. On one hand, these team-ups have perfectly captured our wildest imagination of iconic superhero pairings.
That is true.
On the other, they've unlocked a whole new dimension of tactical combat.
And that is also true.
Season 2, we are
I will just say, I just want to talk about this real quick. The team-ups are not really in any other game. We haven't seen something like this in new age gaming pretty much ever. So the idea of team-ups is really cool. I think that it almost harkens back. So back in the day, when I was a kid, right, there used to be an arcade game that was like The Simpsons. It was like a side-scroller Simpsons like fighting game, and you got to play as one of the cast of The Simpsons. You know, Bart or Lisa, Homer or Marge. I'm pretty sure you could not play as Maggie, although that would have been funny. But anyway, so each one of them had a different team up depending on who they were playing with. So like if you were Marge and someone else on that you were playing with was Bart, you would have like a team up, right? You would have something that you could do. I want to say it had something to do with a vacuum too. Like Marge threw him with a vacuum or something like that. I can't remember exactly. But anyway, so that was like the first iteration of team ups that I had ever seen in a game. And now that we have these inside of a hero shooter game like Marvel Rivals, it's very cool because it opens up a new layer of complexity to not only why you want to bring a certain hero, but how powerful a certain hero can be and in what situations. So I do think it adds a a massive level of complexity that has otherwise been untouched inside of the hero shooter genre. And I do think that team-ups are one of the coolest parts of Marvel Rivals. I'm excited to see that they are balancing it though, because not all team-ups are created equal, I guess is what I'm driving at here.
Launching several brand new team-up abilities while fine-tuning some existing ones.
Cool.
All designed to deliver fresh, pulse-pounding experiences.
Awesome. Hit me with the new team-ups, baby. What you got?
Emma Frost stands as the team-up anchor, allowing Psylocke and Magneto to call on the White Queen's psionic abilities to create illusory projections.
Yo, what? What, bro? Okay, so we talked about this team up a little while ago because we saw it earlier in the video, but you see Emma Frost here. She is the anchor. She provides Magneto and Psylocke the ability to use the team up, and they apparently make an illusory version of themselves. What, bro? I want to see this again. Just can we see them form, and do they fire, or are they just like Loki's clones, but without the offensive potential? Bang. So they split from each other. Bang. And then, yes, bro, they fire just like Loki clones. Let's fucking go. That sounds so cool.
Illusory projections.
I will say that if it actually does mimic your abilities like the Loki clones do, that's kind of OP with both Magneto and Psylocke, because both those characters deal a very high amount of burst damage, so that could be ridiculous.
Of this pairing, Doctor Strange shares his arcane mastery with Scarlet Witch, imbuing her chaos energy with a new mind-bending.
What? That looks fucking dope, bro. Let's back it up. I want to see that again. Doctor Strange, this is the Doctor Strange Wanda team up, shares his arcane mastery with Scarlet Witch. And you can see down at the bottom, it's a little bit hard to see behind the text, but she gets a new button. It's the team up button is C, so now she gets to benefit from that. And then you pop it, it gives you the same kind of look that Scarlet Witch used to give to Magneto around the crosshair, where it has like a draining resource bar here. And then, yeah, so it looks like it kind of fires magic, like a magic missile silo, kind of all around Scarlet Witch, which could be very powerful. It looks like she's dealing a lot of damage, but we're also seeing Doctor Strange hit this Groot at the same time. So how much damage is it really doing is kind of hard to tell.
Her chaos energy with a new mind-bending.
That does look cool, though. I will say that.
Magical ability. Captain America's unwavering courage and unbreakable camaraderie inspire Winter Soldier to leap towards allies at
Yo, what the hell? This is the Winter Soldier Captain America team up that we talked about. Okay, so initiate clash. So it looks like he has to initiate it. This is something that Winter Soldier and Captain America do together, but from what I could tell, that seems like a very fast movement increase, along with some damage against this Groot. It definitely hit him. Damn, and then when he smashes down, it creates this shockwave effect that goes across the ground. We don't get to see how much damage it actually deals, but it does look very cool.
And dish out a relentless counterattack.
That was cool. All right, that could be awesome. It doesn't really tell us what that one does, though, so I'm gonna hold off on my judgment of that until I actually see what all it does and how much like damage or utility, I guess, it provides. The being able to move like that is cool, I guess. Adjustments to existing team-ups. What you got? What's getting nerfed, baby?
Our quest to keep the tactical landscape sharp and prevent any one hero from being in an overabundance of team-up abilities, or total the number of team-ups from ballooning too quickly. We are streamlining some of our existing ones, including removing some team-up abilities altogether.
And that's fair.
Removing or adding members.
Okay.
Here's what's changing.
Tell me.
Metallic Chaos.
Okay, all right. Let's see here. This is all of the ones that are going away, question mark? Let's just listen.
Voltaic Union will be completely removed from the
Okay, so both the Wanda and Magneto team up and the Thor Captain America Storm team up are going out of the game completely.
Psylocke will be removed from Dimensional Shortcut.
Psylocke is getting taken off the Dimensional Shortcut. We talked about that already.
Winter Soldier will no longer be part of Ammo Overload.
What? Bro, that is a huge nerf. Holy shit. Rocket Raccoon is no longer going to be able to team up with Winter Soldier to give him unlimited ammo on his gun. That's crazy. That actually makes Rocket Raccoon's team up a lot worse, but also Winter Soldier doesn't really need a buff. The Punisher benefits heavily from this. Winter Soldier is already so goddamn good that I feel like it would be very difficult to justify keeping this around in this landscape. That is crazy, though.
Namor is being removed from sharing charisma.
Bro, they're taking away the Namor team up with Luna Snow. Oh my god, bro. Haters of Dive are fucking mauling right now, dude. No more Namor to be able to slow your Spider-Mans and your Venoms and your backline assassins, you know, your Magic and your Psylocke and stuff like that. The Namor squids will no longer slow. That is crazy, dude.
Doctor Strange is stepping back from Gamma Charge.
Doctor Strange is losing his team up with Hulk, which I think is kind of fine. The team up with Hulk gave a very, very small amount of additional damage to Doctor Strange's Maelstrom of Madness ability, the explosion, the point-blank AoE explosion, and it also removed his anti-heal when he had maximum dark magic, and the anti-heal would trigger after, I want to say it was 2 seconds of holding your maximum dark magic. That being said, it was kind of not that good, you know? So the Gamma Charge has already been nerfed in Season 1.5, and now taking Doctor Strange off of it, Gamma Charge went from legitimately the best team-up in the entire game to arguably just an okay team-up. I'm not going to say it's one of the worst in the entire game, but it's definitely not that good.
When Namor will be joining the party.
Oh, what? Bro, say it.
With the ability to summon Gamma Supercharged Monster Spawn.
Okay, alright, dude. So, not only is Namor being taken off of the Luna Snow team-up, but he's also being put onto the Gamma Charge team-up. That could be huge, dude. What does a Gamma Supercharged Monstro Spawn entail? What does that mean? Will it do anything extra, or will it just be extra damage, like what happens with Iron Man when he has the team-up? Also, I do think it's kind of weird that Namor and Hulk are teaming up. Like, do Namor and Hulk ever meet up in the comics? I don't know that for sure. I'm not enough of a comic aficionado to know whether or not they ever have any, like, crossover events or, like, issues where they are together. But I do think that's kind of odd, right? Yeah, like, I think that's a little bit strange, right? Yeah, you guys agree. I think so. I don't know, man. Maybe there's more to this than meets the eye. Maybe the Gamma Supercharged Monstro Spawns will be somewhere in between the power level of the Chilling Charisma team-up and like the base version of the Monstro Spawns, you know? Like, maybe it'll be a little bit better with Gamma Charge, but not so much better like the Chilling Charisma one was. Because, like, the blue octopus that you threw out with the Chilling Charisma team-up was legitimately, like, one of the best abilities in the entire game. It auto-hits, it auto-tracks, it does everything you want it to do in terms of damage. You can increase how much damage it puts out, it deals more damage than the other ones, and it slowed people. Was really, really detrimental against divers. So, potentially this maybe lowers Namor's efficiency against divers slightly, but still gives him, like, a decent team-up ability to be able to work with. I still don't know if Namor and the Hulk ever team up together. It just feels weird, you know, to see them, like, teaming up. I don't know, bro. Balance adjustments for a fair fight. Season 1.5 review.
This is World of Warcraft, but there's no classes.
Excuse me. Let's go ahead and just mute this ad. Let's just wait for this to go away. Okay, I'm just gonna unmute here. Let's do it.
As Season 1.5 comes to a close, our analysis backed by community feedback, epic battles from top-tier players, and hard data reveals that our roster and lineup choices have remained dynamic and diverse.
That is only because bans are in the game. If bans were not in the game, there would be, like, Hela all the time. You would see, like, Hela, Namor, Star-Lord, these characters would be in, like, pretty much every game, you know? And because they can get banned, Wolverine is another one, Wolverine, like, these characters are so insanely good at A, what they do, and B, in general, that I think it's, like, almost impossible for for you to take them out of the, like, and they're good in pretty much every game mode on every map, like, so I think that the reason that it has remained dynamic and diverse in the lineup choices is simply because of bans. Straight up is because bans exist, and you can stop certain characters from being able to be played, so that makes it, like, more varied in what you'll find.
Consider the strength of Shields combined with the mighty duo of Groot and the Thing in the triple Vanguard lineup.
I don't want to see triple Vanguard lineup. We have already played this game before. We have seen what happens when you add too many tanks. It happened in Overwatch. It was an entire meta for several years. It was called GOATS, and it was basically just multiple tanks with a couple of healers and, like, one DPS or no DPS, right? And because of that, like, that ruined the end of Overwatch 1, and I do not want to see a full-on Vanguard team up here. Like, I don't want to see 3 or 4 Vanguards and 2 support as, like, the new main way to play Marvel Rivals. That will absolutely piss me off. Everything will just live forever. We'll be stuck in this endless team fight. And we've played this game before. We already know what's going to happen. Nothing that comes out of that can be good. So please, please don't make Vanguards so good that they end up being the main thing that you bring to every team fight. And then the DPS just get shoved into a corner somewhere. Please.
With Magneto's damage and up, this setup gains increased initiative on flanks and enhanced pressure capabilities.
It does.
Moreover, a pair of control-driven ultimates abilities synergizing with Magneto's ult against standard double strategies lineups can deliver staggering burst damage.
That is true.
Overloading enemy healing and securing a pinpoint KO.
Yes, and while that does happen, it's happening less and less often the lower in rank you get. So you need to understand that, like, while certain players can absolutely pull off a Groot combo into a Magneto ultimate that ends up securing them the kill on people either inside of a support ultimate or on the support themselves who is actually utilizing the ultimate, while that does happen, the lower in skill you get, the less often that shit comes up. So, like, you got to be really careful about making the tanks too powerful.
Then there's the dynamic pairing of Groot and Winter Soldier, where every move counts.
Yeah.
Whether Winter Soldier's mechanical arm reels in full...
Yeah, dude, like, Groot and Winter Soldier is ridiculous, because you can use the hook, you pull people in, and then Groot just throws up the wall behind them, which isolates them from their team and makes it so that they can't leave, right? And then the same thing with Groot's ultimate combined with Winter Soldier's ultimate, you can get a ridiculously huge amount of value out of that, and everybody that dies inside of that is just going to reset Winter Soldier's ult again, so, and then he gets to go again and again and again, and, like, that can be really oppressive as well.
For Groot's rapid wall barricade to cut off enemy vision and healing, or Groot unleashing his ultimate while the Winter Soldier utilized the splash damage from his main weapon
That too.
to rapidly chip away a health.
Yep.
Before finishing off enemies with his own ultimate
I literally just talked about that.
Strategies are as visually mesmerizing as effective.
Yes.
Not to mention our classic pairings, Hela and Loki, Adam Warlock and Star-Lord Mantis,
Yep.
and Hawk and Doctor Strange.
That's true.
Each of which continues to prove their competitive might. This is exactly the kind of diverse and dynamic roster we love to see.
Well, that's good.
And we are committed to preserving each hero's unique flavor and potential.
Well, good. I mean, that kind of felt like, that section kind of felt like a nothing burger a little bit. They were just like, hey, you know how you can combine things in the game? Well, we like that, right? That whole segment right there just felt like that. And look, dude, we like that too, but did it really need a segment in the dev vision? I don't know. Balanced roadmap for Season 2 and Season 2.5. Let's do it. Hit me.
Next, let's talk about some of the adjustments coming in Season 2.
Let's talk about it.
We are aware that some heroes have been struggling to find
Oh yeah, which heroes do you think? Which heroes have been struggling? The same ones that have been struggling since the game released?
their place in the broader battlefield, such as Penny Parker,
Yep.
Scarlet Witch,
Yep.
Mr. Fantastic,
You bet.
Black Widow,
Absolutely.
Rocket Raccoon, and
No.
the lovable Jeff the Legend.
No, no, no. Rocket Raccoon and Jeff the Landshark don't need anything. Leave them alone. Leave them alone, dude. They are already very good. Jeff the Land Shark needs to be not that good. Rocket Raccoon needs to be, like, good if you play him to a higher level, right? Like, if you're playing Rocket and you understand how to utilize his kit when combined with other characters' kit, you can do a ton of work. If you're playing Jeff the Land Shark, he is already extremely, extremely annoying to have to kill, and he can get away and live for a ridiculously long time. Like, and also, his beam requires no actual aim. You just kind of spray it and it hits everything, and it's really good, which means that Jeff can't be that good. So, like, please don't buff Rocket and Jeff. The rest of them I agree with, though.
Shark. To bring more balance and endless tactical possibilities, we will be fine-tuning their strengths via team-up abilities or general balance adjustments.
Cool.
Note that these rebalances demand time for proper calibration.
Sure.
So you will see updates rolling out in both Season 2.0 and Season 2.5.
That's fair.
Now,
That's totally fair.
Talk about some of the adjustments coming in Season 2.0.
I thought we were already doing that.
Penny Parker will receive a buff, while Captain
Nice.
America, now a new team-up anchor, steps up his competitive edge. Meanwhile,
when you say that, you say that Captain America steps up his competitive edge. I just want to make sure that you're not just saying Captain America is going to get a team up, and because he has the bonus from being a team up anchor now, he's going to be better. Like, I don't want Cap to not receive a buff to his base kit just because you're buffing him with the team up. So please, if you're going to adjust Cap, make sure that you adjust his base kit as well as giving him something on top with the team up, because otherwise you're just getting Captain America being as good as he already is with nothing else. You know, that's not really a buff as much as it is a contingency buff. You know, if this, then this, as opposed to he gets this, and also if this, then this. You know, that's what we want to see.
Doctor Strange will see a slight nerf to his offensive power, offset by...
Hang on one second here. I'm gonna mute this and take a sip of my drink real quick, guys. Delicious. All right, so where was I? I just want to make sure that we're still good across all these different platforms here. Got myself there. We're looking good. Over here, we are looking solid. Just gonna pause that real quick. Take that all the way over there. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, looks like we're all right. Just moving my head around, checking on all the different monitors. I'm not getting any notifications that things are wrong. Okay, so looks like we're still good. All right, let's go.
Doctor Strange will see a slight nerf to his offensive power.
Oh, we're nerfing Doctor Strange again? That kind of sucks.
Offset by improved survivability.
You just nerfed his survivability, though. Wait, like, you just nerfed his survivability in Season 1.5. You took away 50 health from him. So now, like, you're gonna nerf his damage output? But instead, you're gonna what? Give him his 50 health back? That sounds kind of stupid, bro. Just leave him alone. Like, if you reduce his offensive capabilities, it's gonna have less times when he can pop off. Like, the offensive capabilities is not the problem. You know, Doctor Strange is a good tank overall. I don't know. I just kind of don't want to see him messed with too much. I don't think there's anything wrong with him necessarily that really needs to be fixed.
For the duelists, expect Scarlet Witch and Winter Soldier to debut brand new aggressive team-up abilities.
Yeah, we saw that. I do hope Winter Soldier receives a balance, though, like on a downward trend. Winter Soldier is a very, very strong character. He could definitely use a balance down slightly. I don't want to get crazy with it, but a little bit, you know? I talked about this yesterday, but I think removing the amount of infinite resets that he can get and putting a cap on it for his ultimate, I think is a good place to start.
Accompanied by buffs to heroes like Mr. Fantastic and Moon Knight.
I do agree with the Mr. Fantastic buffs. I don't know that Moon Knight necessarily needs to be buffed unless you're just fixing his ultimate and making his ult more lethal. That is the part of his kit that needs to be buffed. Moon Knight's neutral game is kind of fine. You kind of don't want a character that does not require you to even aim at the person that you're fighting against to be so strong that like you buff their neutral game and then they become even better. Like, remember that he doesn't even fight the person that he's fighting. He fights an Ankh on the floor or wall, and the person happens to die if they're standing in it. So let's just keep that in mind while we're buffing Moon Knight.
Finally, strategists. We are set to enhance Rocket Raccoon's team utility. At the same time, to prevent battles from dragging on courtesy of Loki's regeneration domain
What?
and Adam Warlock's Soulbound.
No, stop it. Stop it. Stop. Do not nerf regeneration domain and soul bond. These things are essential to these characters. Please, please don't nerf regeneration domain and soul bond. We need those.
We will implement modest nerf to keep the fight fast.
Why don't you implement some modest nerfs to the fucking support ultimates, dude? Jesus Christ. The thing, literally, the problem with the game comes from the massive sustain of the support ultimates, not Loki's regeneration domain and Adam Warlock's soul bond. These are not the issue. Please, please nerf the actual support ultimates.
Theories and fundamentally fun. Keep your eyes peeled for our upcoming balance update announcement, where we will dive even deeper into these changes. The Season 1.5 hero pick rates and win rates are also set to be reviewed shortly.
We can already see the pick rates and win rates based on other sites. Like, you're going to release information that we already have access to, and while I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing to release the information, I think, you know, we already know that. That's not really something that you need to announce, in my opinion. Rank adjustments, rank resets, and map rotation. Uh-oh.
When Season 2.0 launches,
Uh-oh.
we're shaking up competitive play by resetting ranks.
Well, we knew it was coming.
Season 1.5 standings, each player will drop 9 divisions.
Okay, 9 divisions, so that means 3 total ranks. So if you are in Diamond 3, you're going to go from Diamond to Plat to Silver. No, it's from Diamond to Plat to Gold to Silver. So you're going to stop at Silver. If you're in Diamond, you know, so 3 total ranks lower than you currently are at. I think that's totally fine. A lot of people really love to grind up rank. They like, you know, the enjoyment of the game for a lot of people comes from big number go up. That is like how they get the primal experience of playing the game is more satisfying when you see big number go up as opposed to, you know, big number go down. So to set them back 3 entire ranks means that they're going to have, basically, they're going to get to see big number go up again, right? And for the people that are enjoying the game based on that, that's going to be very satisfying for them. So I guess good.
For instance, if you ended Season 1.5 at Diamond
No
1,
way.
you will start your Season 2.0 journey as Silver 1.
This is not pre-watched. I promise you, I did not know that they were going to utilize that example. I was just using an example.
Coinciding with the season update and with the increase in maps, we will be rotating maps to keep the battlegrounds fresh.
We don't have enough maps to rotate maps. Stop what you're doing. Leave all the maps in the game. You've only got like 10 fucking maps, bro. Leave them in the game. When we have 30 maps, then you start, you know, cycling some out. You put some in, you take some out. We'll see some of these other ones maybe next season or the season after that. We only have 10 maps, dude. Let's not get crazy. All right? Like, we already need... Just take out Odin's Archive, please. That's the only map that needed to be removed. All the rest of them can stay. All of them. Just add a new map where Odin's Archive used to be, and we'll be golden, dude. That's totally fine. We don't need to remove Shin Shibuya. What part of Shin Shibuya was bad? That map is fine, dude. At least in my opinion. I don't know. I don't see any problems with Shin Shibuya.
Tournaments will use the same map rotation as the competitive.
I think that's good.
Big match and custom games will still feature every map. No
Okay.
rotation there.
Oh, well, that's good too. That is good. Competitive enhancements. Ooh. Does this mean that you're going to adjust how easy it is for people to climb in rank? Because, like, the ranks get incredibly inflated because the game is basically, what it boils down to is if you play a lot, you will rank up a lot. Even if you have, like, a 40% win rate or a 45% win rate, you will still go up based on how much you play. This is why, like, when you look at your rank in Rivals, I say this all the time, your rank does not matter. Your rank has never mattered. It doesn't matter in this game. Doesn't matter in any other competitive game either. Unless you get all of your enjoyment out of watching big number go up, then your rank doesn't matter. It never mattered, right? It's not real. The real number is not shown to us, which is our quick play, our hidden MMR is never shown to us. That is what your actual rank is. You never get to know what that is. You only get to see the effects of your hidden MMR set. So whatever rank you're seeing, you probably achieved that by just playing a lot of games. So anybody can rank up in this game. You can make it to one above all eventually, you know, assuming that you are skilled enough. You know, you will make it there just by playing the game. And this is part of the reason why I don't care about competitive, because it's not real. It's not like, for all the people that are hard focused on ranking up, congratulations, you'll still be able to do that. You'll be able to do that even more here in Season 2. But, like, just in general, you will win. The more you win, you will rank up. The more you play, you will continue to rank up, because you lose significantly less than you gain when you win. So when you lose, you only lose a few points. When you win, you gain a whole buttload of points. And because of that, you will always be on the upward trend, at least based on the way that it currently works right now.
We've listened to your feedback about competitive play, and here's how we are leveling up the experience. First,
let's see it.
We are raising the minimum level requirement for competitive to give new players more time to truly master the basics before stepping up to the big leagues.
So what that basically means is, because, like, new players, they're not coming into the game and immediately being like, I started the game 2 hours ago, better hop into comp. Like, most people are not doing that, you know what I mean? So what this is really for is to make it so that it's more annoying for people who make a second account or a third account to be able to go play competitive right away, you know? And what this really probably comes down to is that in the 10 levels that they are currently giving you to be able to unlock comp, they are not able to, with their MMR system, get an accurate read of where you should be placed prior to putting you into competitive. So by giving them 50% more time, that's 50% more data that they have before you can queue into comp to begin with. So they know how to very quickly accelerate you to your rank to kind of solve the smurfing issue. I don't think this has anything really to do with making it better for the players in general. I think this has everything to do with making it a quicker experience to put people where they're actually supposed to be in ranked.
Also, pick and ban will now come into play starting from Gold 3
what?
rather than Diamond tier.
Yo, that's actually huge, though. Okay, so being able to ban from Gold 3 onwards means that people who were previously never going to see bans are probably going to see them a lot more. There are going to be a lot more people that understand the pick ban phase now than there were before. So that's cool. I do think that having bans across basically the entire competitive system is important, because only a percentage of players have ever even seen the ban phase. So I do think it's important to lower, when that gets implemented into the game, because it is like an integral part of competitive in Marvel Rivals. Excuse me, I really have to burp. Pardon me. All right, next.
When a team includes players from Eternity or One Above All,
Yep.
only dual queuing will be allowed.
Ooh.
Finally,
That's gonna piss some people off, huh? The people in top 500 aren't gonna be able to 6-stack anymore. That's, somebody's not gonna be happy about that. Inevitably, somebody will be pissed off.
that the score you earn per competitive match is determined by both the outcome and your individual performance.
Yes.
With the launch of Season 2.0, we will be increasing the weight of individual performances.
Cool.
The better you perform, the more points you will earn in victory.
Good.
And the fewer points you will lose in defeat.
Good. So, essentially, just like I talked about a minute ago, this is basically them just solving smurfing a little bit faster. What this comes down to is people make extra accounts so that they can go in and try characters that they maybe want to learn, but they only want to learn it in competitive. They don't want to go play quick play on their main account. So they'll make another account, and then they'll go into comp to play on whatever character they want to learn, or maybe just to stomp on people who are in lower ranks. This is essentially just accelerating how quickly they can move you to the rank that you're supposed to be in, so that the lower brackets of the competitive play are less dominated by high rank players on a new account.
We know many of you are interested in the distribution of players across the Season 1.5 tiers.
We already have this data. Before you say, we're gonna show you where people are in the data, you know, where people are in the ranks, we're gonna show you the behind-the-scenes data. I got news for you, fam. We have websites that track that already. We don't need your help with it.
To satisfy your curiosity, please enjoy this detailed histogram that lays it all out.
Okay, so if you didn't already know this, this is a very widely used graphic in the last month or two of Marvel Rivals. You can see where the distribution of players are throughout the ranks. You've got bronze, which a lot of these are just people who have never played comp. Then you've got silver at 17.9%. Gold is where most of the people in the game are playing at 20.6. Then you go up to platinum, we're at 16.9. We've got 17.1% of the players over in diamond. And as you get higher up, it gets smaller and smaller. GM is 11.2. Celestial is 2.8. And again, you can reach these ranks just by playing the game. So if you're in gold and you want to get to eternity, all you have to do is play lots of games and you will eventually make it here, as long as you are not shit from a butt. You know what I mean? So you will climb up into Celestial if you're a gold player right now, if you just play enough games. That is literally how the system works. But yeah, so it looks like Eternity and One Above All are 0.3% of the total player base, which obviously is not a lot, but this is what we're working with. Again, this graphic has been spread all over the internet for weeks now, because other sites have been tracking this shit as well. This is not news to anybody who follows the actual news of Marvel Rivals, but here it is in case you didn't know.
In closing, thank you all for your unwavering support and passion.
Hell yeah.
We can't wait to party with you at the Hellfire Gala.
Let's go.
Ignite the battle.
Ignite the battle. Pop the bottles. Let's fucking do it, dude. April 11th, Season 2 of Marvel Rivals comes out. I am very excited for that. I want to say thank you to the devs of Marvel Rivals for releasing this dev vision. It was a very good video, and I think that there is a lot to look forward to. A lot of cool stuff coming in Season 2. So W's all around, dude. W's all around. All right, so that is going to end this part of the YouTube video. I'm going to talk to you guys now. I'm going to talk to the chat a little bit here before we move on to the next thing, because there's more that I wanted to talk about, but I did want to cover that basically in its entirety. That was almost an hour of me talking about this 15-minute video, but at the same time, I think a lot of that stuff needed to be said. You know what I mean? I think that a lot of this breakdown needed to happen. We needed to hear about the things that they were releasing and also have an opinion about it, because this is one of the most important things in the game, is showing that we are listening as developers, that they are listening to us and the things that we want as developers, and also showing that we as fans are still excited, dude. I think that overall, you see that the video is number 14 on trending on YouTube right now, and it's got 895,000 views released not even a full day ago. So that, first of all, that's massive traction to get on the first day, but second of all, I think that it is proof. The proof is in the pudding here, dude. We, as gamers, we want to play more Marvel Rivals. We want to hear more Marvel Rivals. We want to know about what's going on. Hit us with all of the cool stuff. You love to see it, dude. That is awesome. Awesome stuff here. So I hope you guys are excited about the new season and the new character release. I think that's pretty cool. This was one of the things that I wanted to cover today. Let's see. The other stuff that I wanted to talk about. Let's go over here. I think that it is important that we talk about... There we go. Let's just make sure that that is up here. Yes, it is. All right, now I'm going to... just going to increase the size of this slightly. Let's do one of these, one of these. Let's do another one of these. Maybe not all that. Maybe one more. Yeah, let's just let's just move that right there. We're going to go ahead and move my camera back to where it was, so that we can... When I scroll, is it in the way? Very slightly. I'll just try and make sure that I'm either above or below everything as I'm talking about it. And I just want to look over on the side here, make sure that we are totally square with where everything is good. Just keeping an eye on everything on the other monitors, making sure it all lines up. All right, looks like we're good there. So, for this next part, Tier, what's going on, dude? It's good to see you, man. I am going over all of the news that has released in the last day. Excuse me. Excuse me. I just did like a full hour talking about the new video, The Dev Diary, that released yesterday. That was pretty awesome. I was excited to go over that, and now we're going to go over the balance changes for Season 2 that were released yesterday as well, or I guess released today. We're going to get to see what all they have planned in terms of balance, so I'm pretty excited about that. I will be turning all of this into a video. I was telling everybody earlier that basically everything we talked about yesterday was, like, all the things that we speculated on were solved by the end of the show, and the Dev Diary had been released. So the information that we covered on yesterday's show that I was going to turn into a video, there's no reason to talk about it and turn it into a video anymore, because we now have the concrete proof of what everything is going to happen, like what all is going to change, what everything is going to entail, etc., etc. By the time I had ended the show and I was cooking my lunch, I looked down at Twitter and I saw basically all of the answers to the questions that we had yesterday. So I was like, you know what? I've already ended the show for the day. I'm just going to go ahead and cover all this shit tomorrow. So that's what we're doing right now. So for those of you who are here and you're watching and you don't know why I'm not responding to you in the chat, I am going to be basically going over this entirety, and then I will respond to you guys in the chat afterwards. That way I don't have to do as much editing in the post-editing process, you know, in the post-production process here. I can spend less hours watching the video at 4 times speed to try and cut out the parts where I'm looking over, talking to chat, or having a conversation on the side that has nothing to do with the video at large. So that's what we're doing. I'm going to go ahead and swing back over here. So let's talk about the balance changes coming in Season 2. We're going to start with the Vanguard. We've got Captain America is up first. It says, Captain America, Steve will undergo some adjustments to his survivability, leading to a slight decrease in his overall resilience. Reduce base health from 675 to 650. Reduce the shield value of Living Legend from 400 to 350. I just want to ask you guys something real quick. Do you think that Captain America was so good that he needed a nerf? Because I know he's getting a new team up. I know he's going to have a new ability based on that team up. But I don't think that Captain America was such a good tank that he actually needed a downward trend in balance adjustments. Like, I think that is probably too far, right? In my opinion, Captain America was not that strong as it was. So to add some decrease to his performance, it seems kind of out of left field to me. Like, this guy kind of sucked already. Why would you nerf him? You know? That would be like if you nerfed Mr. Fantastic like you did in Season 1.5. Why did they nerf Mr. Fantastic in Season 1.5? Bro, why'd you do that? It doesn't make any fucking sense. This doesn't make any sense either. That didn't make sense then. This doesn't make sense now. Captain America's not that good. Why would you nerf him? His team up better be the craziest baller move of all time, because there's literally no reason to have done this. Why are you doing our boy like that? That's wrong, dude. That's wrong. Next, Doctor Strange. The Sorcerer Supreme will see a reduction in his offensive capabilities, limiting his battlefield control. Decrease daggers of Danak damage per projectile from 18 to 16. That means a total of 10 damage being shaved off of his primary fire per shot. That is actually massive. Reduce Maelstrom of Madness conversion ratio of dark magic to damage from 1.3 to 1.2. That is a 10 damage reduction total on the Maelstrom of Magic. The Maelstrom of Madness damage. His big AoE, right? His big AoE is going to deal 10 less damage when at 100 charge, but his primary fire is going to deal 10 damage less per shot, which is crazy to me. That's like a pretty huge nerf to Doctor Strange's offensive potential. Doctor Strange didn't really need it, dude. You didn't really need to take anything away from him. He was already pretty good. Yes, this will decrease his time in the spotlight slightly, but this is absolutely a harder swing of the nerf bat than he got in the Season 1.5 patch. Not great. You don't love to see it. Hulk. It says the Green Goliath will boast enhanced maneuverability and improved survivability upon entering combat. Increase base movement speed from 600 to 650, which I assume is like how many meters per second he moves. So like from 6 meters per second to 6.5 meters per second. Oh, okay. Sure, man. Sure, dude. Reduce the cooldown time for Indestructible Guard from 12 to 10 seconds. Wow. That's actually a sizable buff for Hulk right there. That is his Gamma Shield with a 2-second decrease to its cooldown. That's like kind of huge. You know, that's kind of good. I like that. Decrease minimum charge time for Incredible Leap from 0.7 seconds to 0.5 seconds. So like the tiniest shrimp dick of buff to his jump ability. Great, dude. I think that's cool. You know, the jump ability, in my opinion, does take too long to initially charge up for Hulk. I think they could have just decreased the total charge time by like 20% across the board, and Hulk would have been pretty good. I think that his jump activating faster is kind of fine, you know? Like, his jump already can't be activated if you, are falling. So unlike a lot of other characters' movement abilities who can use them while in the air, while descending, you can't actually do that with Hulk's jump. You actually have to be on the ground to be able to jump. And so because of that, you are limited in the times you can actually utilize his movement ability. I know that doesn't sound like much, but sometimes you need to jump right fucking now. You know what I mean? And you can't jump now until you actually hit the ground. And that split second of difference can be the difference between living and dying. So, you know, I think that Hulk's jump did need a decrease in the time of its charge, but I think maybe decreasing the minimum charge time as opposed to just decreasing the total charge time, it could be a miss. You know, you could have done this same buff, but a little bit better if you had just decreased the total charge time. Excuse me. I gotta swallow. I'm generating too much spit. My spit generation got buffed in the Season 1.5 patch. Okay, Magneto. The Master of Magnetism will experience a slight decrease in the frequency of his ultimate ability. Decreased his Meteor M ultimate from 3100 to 3400. That means we're going to see a very small amount less Magneto ultimates across the board. That's like an 8% decrease to how often you get your ultimate. I don't think you really needed to do this. You know, I know Magneto's ultimate is pretty good, and it does deal a sizable amount of damage, but he doesn't get it, like, so frequently that I feel like it's oppressive. Maybe other people feel that way. Not me, though. Penny Parker. Oh, shit, bro. Here we go. Penny Parker. It says, Penis will receive enhancements to her primary attack damage efficiency and a boost to her survivability and combat capabilities. Oh, boy. Cyberweb Cluster now has a chance to crit. Reduce movement speed penalty while firing Cyberweb Cluster from 40% to 20%. That's her primary fire, right? I'm not stupid. Let's just, Cyberweb Cluster. I just want to go in here. I'm just going to go into the actual game and just look at her abilities. Yeah, Cyberweb Cluster is her primary fire. I know you guys can't see it, but I'm in the game in the background there. So, it has a chance to crit. What do you mean? A chance to crit. Does that mean that, like, you cannot hit them in the critical hit spot and still potentially crit with Cyberweb Cluster? I don't think that's good. You know, the fact that it couldn't crit kind of balanced out how good it was. You know, it gave it a baseline value that was pretty decent, and also, you know, kind of gave it, like, that kind of nuanced the character a little bit. You know, not every character needs to be able to crit. But having a chance to crit is just weird. It's weird terminology. We'll have to see how this plays out. This could be really good, or it could be kind of a nothing burger. It's kind of hard to say at this moment. I got some fuzz on my mouse pad, and it's pissing me off. Get out of here. Get out of here. All right, there we go. Increase base health of Penny Parker from 650 to 6. One day, I will learn to talk. Increase base health for Penny Parker from 650 to 750. That's pretty sizable buff. That's a lot of additional hit points. Will that make her more tanky? Definitely. Will that change her gameplay overall? Maybe. You know, she might live for an extra hit or two. So that's kind of good. You know, Penny is not the most survivable tank in the world, but she does gain healing over time, which she can generate for herself by standing in her own webs. So you got to be careful with how much you buff this character, because don't forget, she heals herself. She's the only tank in the game, as a matter of fact, to have healing over time for themselves, so with no additional teammate required. So you got to be careful with that shit. Thing. It says the ever-lovin' blue-eyed Thing will see a slight reduction in his damage reduction effect. Decreased the embattled leap's damage reduction from 30% to 25%. This was a pretty good ability overall. It was a good way to save certain characters from big damage ultimates. I'm looking at you, Magneto Meatball. The Magneto Meatball did not have the potential to kill when you use the embattled leap on your teammate. Even at full charge, it would decrease the damage enough that you could survive if you were like, even the squishiest character could survive. So let's just do some quick maths real quick, all right? So Magneto Meatball maximum damage is 300 damage, right? So with a 30% reduction, you are looking at 30, 60, 90 damage reduced, which meant it dealt 210 damage total, which is not enough to one-hit any character in the entire game. 0 characters can be one-hit if they have the damage reduction from the Thing's embattled leap as it currently stands. But with a 25% damage reduction, we are looking at 30, 60, 75 damage reduced, which means that it will now deal... a fully charged Magneto Meatball against a person who is has their damage reduction from the embattled leap will now take 225 damage, as opposed to the 210 that they previously took. This doesn't change a lot in terms of surviving. This will still not one-hit any character in the game, so that's kind of good. But that being said, Magneto can just finish it up and then follow up with one primary fire now, and that will be enough damage to actually kill all of the squishy characters. Okay, we'll have to see how this one plays out. I don't necessarily think that this ability needed to be nerfed, but you know what, we'll just take it from there. Thor. Thor is receiving an increase in survivability, base health going up from 525 to 600, base movement speed going up from 600 to 650. So we're going to see 6.5 meters per second, at least as far as I can tell, as Thor's base movement speed, which is a huge W. Let's go. And then we're also seeing Thor's health go up from 525 to 600, which is also a huge W. I do question, and I think this is something to consider, right? How is it that Thor, the god of thunder, is less survivable than Captain America, actual just regular guy with drugs? So, like, Captain America's base health after these changes, 650 base health. Thor, who was already less health than him, is now at 600 base health. How is it that an actual god is less survivable than regular guy on drugs? That doesn't make any fucking sense at all, in my opinion. But this is the game we live in. I don't make the rules, chat. I just work here, so that's what we got. I do think that Thor could use a buff, and I am excited to see him become slightly better in Season 2 here. All right, Duelist changes for Season 2. We got Black Widow. It says, Natasha is receiving optimizations to her shooting experience. Added a new effect where Black Widow can directly shoot after releasing the second kick of Edge Dancer and after using her ultimate ability. That is huge. The reason this is huge is because the ability to instantly shoot directly after using her second kick means that you are going to be able to kick, and then immediately follow up with a hip fire, either to the head or to the body, and you will be able to insta-delete targets. This essentially gives Black Widow a faster one-hit combo. And like you say, you know, in Marvel Rivals, we always talk about the one-hit combo. Obviously, it's not directly a one-hit. It is not 100% a one-hit. You do have to combo certain abilities together, but you can very quickly delete a character, and that will be made easier for Black Widow here. And being able to fire immediately after utilizing her ultimate is also huge, because the ultimate for Black Widow provides the weakened effect on targets that it hits, which means that she can instantly headshot them to death, but the weakened effect only lasts for 4 seconds. So being able to fire immediately after using her ultimate means that she will more reliably get to capitalize on the weaken debuff that she applies to people. W change, in my opinion. Hawkeye. We got Hawkeye is getting... we're improving Clint's mobility when drawing his bow. That's Clint with an N, for those of you who are wondering, so I don't get demonetized. Enhancing his, while drawing his bow, enhancing his movement... Excuse me. Enhancing his combat capabilities and increasing the threat of his ultimate. Uh-oh. Hawkeye was already like one or two buffs away from being a completely dominant meta hero, so this could be very scary. Reduce the slow effect while charging the bow from 30 to 20%. That means when you're knocking the arrow, you know, you're pulling that shit back, right? That you were slowed by 30%. You're now only going to be slowed by 20%, which is very small change, but increase to the quality of life of this character, so great. Increase both instances of damage for Hypersonic Arrow from 50 to 55. Very small buff to his arrow that slows you down. Basically, it fires off and then it like comes back or whatever. It's 2 separate instances of damage, going up by 5. So for a total increase of 10 additional damage across the board, that's pretty good. Decrease the energy cost for his ultimate from 3,700 to 3,100. That's huge. That means you're going to be getting a lot more Hawkeye ultimates there. And improved the bow's draw speed from 1.35 times to 1.5 times. So not only are you going to get more Hawkeye ultimates than you've ever gotten, you're also going to be able to fire more arrows during the Hawkeye ultimate than you ever have before. Holy shit. Hawkeye new meta? Hawkeye meta? I think so. I think moving into this next patch, we will be seeing the Hawkeye meta. Ooh, Hela. Before I read this, please remove Hela's ability to 2-tap from any range. This is unnecessary. This character, as a hit scan character, does not need it. Only projectile-based damage characters should be able to 2-tap from all ranges. Why? Because the travel time of the projectile increases the skill gap of what you could actually need to be able to pull off that combo, which means that you are being rewarded for being more skilled on a projectile DPS character. That is more important than rewarding a hit scan character who instantly deals the damage no matter how far away they are. Please, before I read this, please nerf that. Alright, let's do it. Hela, the goddess of death, will see a reduction in mobility while slightly enhancing her offensive power. What? What? You fucking what, mate? Increase the cooldown time for Astral Flock from 12 to 15 seconds. Why, though? Like, yeah, okay, so maybe you can kill Hela less often now. She will have... That is actually like a 25% decrease to the amount of Astral Flocks you can use. For those of you who don't know, the Astral Flock ability is her I turn into a bird and fuck right off power, where she turns into a bird, becomes immune to damage, repositions rapidly. She can use it up. You know, she can use it to gain vertical mobility. She can use it to disappear and go over there, right? She can avoid ultimates with it. It's a very powerful ability, but it needs to be used properly, and it only goes in the direction you're currently facing. So you can't, like, use it and then be like, haha, I turned the fuck around and go over here. Like, that's not how it works. So you have to be facing that way. But with a decrease in cooldown from 12 seconds to 15 seconds, that means that we're going to see Hela using this approximately 25% less often. Gonna be more important now that you properly use your escape ability than it has ever been. Increased spell field damage of Piercing Knight from 30 to 35 damage. Piercing Knight is her secondary fire, question mark? Let's find out here. Piercing Knight is her secondary fire, where it fires off like 5 of the darts very quickly, right? They go bing, 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 right? And then they pause for a second, and then they explode for big damage, blah, right? Holy shit, big damage. Right, so that is going up in damage from 30 to 35 for the AoE explosion. What does that mean? That means that you are potentially receiving 25 total additional damage from the right-click ability, and you you kind of only use this on tanks, right? So just in general, you were not really utilizing this ability in all cases. Like it's not like you were spamming this thing every time it was off cooldown. You put it into tanks, or you use it to damage people that are around corners. So what this means is Hela will be more effective against tanks, and when somebody engages with you, like say you hit him in the head once, you hit him in the body once, right? And now they've got like a bee's dick worth of health left, and they back behind a wall, right? They're behind the wall now. Well, that means that you're going to be able to put your shots right here, right? Bang, 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 right? And then that person will, and they'll die from the other side of the wall because of the explosion, right? They will more reliably die from the other side of the wall based on the explosion. This is actually this increases the skill floor of Hela very slightly, because it means that you can now do things better than you were able to do things before. You're not always going to use it for that, but that's what you use it for. At a very high level of play, that's what you use it for, basically. And we're also decreasing the cooldown time for Soul Drainer from 12 to 10 seconds. And for those of you who don't know, Soul Drainer is her ability that she throws out the big orb, and it, for a very small amount of time, stuns people that get hit by the orb. So basically, it is a half of a second stun. That doesn't sound like a lot, right? That doesn't sound like it's even worth using, really, in most scenarios. What this is for is to stop people in the split second where they activate their ultimate from being able to actually use their ultimate. So let's just say Wanda, for example, right? Or Black Panther, right? You hear pure in that moment. You want to hit them with your stun ability, and then the Wanda will go back down to 50% ult charge, and the ultimate will not go off, right? So with Black Panther, you hear tremble before, and then you see the big fucking cat, right? Like, oh my god, a big cat, holy shit, right? And then you press your Soul Drainer ability on Hela, and Black Panther goes, right? And then he just fucking loses half of his ult charge, and his ultimate doesn't go off, right? So that's how that works. We are decreasing the cooldown time of that by what is that? Let's see, 12 seconds. A 2-second reduction in that is pretty massive, actually. This means that you're going to be able to more reliably skill shot other people out of their ultimates, but you are also going to be more easily punished than you have been in the past. The one thing they did not touch on Hela is her ability to 2-tap across the map, bro. My one complaint about the character. The rest of this shit, I don't give a fuck about any of this. None of this matters to me, because the actual problem with Hela is being able to click on somebody 2 times from really far away and watch them go bleh. Right? That is the problem. All of this stuff is just placating you to make you think that there was more wrong with her kit than there actually was. Hela could not escape that often. 12-second cooldown on her Astral Flock was not that big of a deal, dude. You could still punish her very reliably. You could still very easily kill her by getting up into melee range and just punching the shit out of her, or, utilizing whatever abilities you do have and making her life hard. As long as you close the gap on her, you could kill her before. You're still going to be able to kill her now. Spoiler alert. If you're a melee character and you get in the Hela's face, you're still going to be able to kill her. So that's good, I guess. But the rest of this shit, they didn't address the main problem that actually exists with Hela. So we're going to have to see how this goes. But the skill floor of Hela is actually going up. The amount of things that you can do with this character is actually going up. So that's kind of good, I guess. Human Torch. Oh my god, please. Please, for the love of God, make Human Torch good. I want to love this character so badly. Fire is my favorite element. I love everything about what he does, except for his stupid, some of his voice lines feel kind of cheesy to me. But aside from that, I love the character. I want him to be good. I want him to be really good. But right now, he is the opposite of really good. So, let's just see. Johnny's attack feedback and survivability are being improved to enhance his impact across various combat scenarios. That sounds good to me. Reduce attack interval for Fire Cluster, his primary fire, from 0.6 seconds to 0.5 seconds. The launch timing of the primary attack projectile has been advanced. So, the launch timing, let me just read that again. The launch timing of the primary attack projectile has been advanced. Is that not just the same thing they said in the sentence before that? Reduce the attack interval? Anyway, you're going to be able to fire it off slightly faster. Very, very slightly faster. You're going to be able to use his primary fire a little bit quicker. Increase the cooldown for Flaming Meteor from 12 to 15 seconds. That is his ability. Let me just make sure I'm not talking out my ass, but I'm 90% sure that's his ability to dive down from the sky and instantly land on people, right? Flaming Meteor? Yes. Okay. So, Flaming Meteor is having its cooldown increased from 12 seconds to 15 seconds. So you dive down out of the sky, you land on your little flaming patches, and they go boom, right? So the dive down, go boom ability, you're going to be able to use that slightly less often, but added a new effect. After releasing Flaming Meteor, immediately gain 75 bonus health, which will start to fall off 3 seconds later at a rate of 30 per second. W. Massive change, dude. Massive change. Thank you. Thank you, NetEase, for listening. I talked about this before. Why do we have a character that wants to be in melee range, but is built to be far away? He had no survivability prior to this, aside from the Sue Storm team up, which gave him 100 bonus health when he utilized it. This is very good. So what this means is, Human Torch now has the ability to generate extra health for himself. So when he does something that puts him into danger, he now becomes more survivable to be able to survive the danger, right? You see this on all of the melee heroes, right? You see this on Magic, who gets bonus health when she deals damage, right? Imagine that shit. You see this on Black Panther, who gets bonus health when he does shit with his dash, right? That is exactly what you want. The more dangerous and risk reward, right? The higher the risk of the situation, the more the reward, but you need to be able to survive to see that happen. We're now seeing that on Human Torch here. That is a huge change. You're not using the Meteor that often, right? You're not diving down into melee range with people that often. But now, when you do, your primary fire will be a little bit better. You'll be able to shoot it off a little bit faster. And again, Human Torch has a shotgun-style primary fire. So it fires off a bunch of pellets that each deal a very small amount of damage. So you want to hit as many pellets as possible. What that means is the farther away you get, the greater the spread, right? So if you're really far away, like if you're way the fuck back here, the spread is massive, right? It's huge, dude. It's enormous, right? It's this big, right? And then as you close the gap, spread gets tighter, and when you're right up in their face, you take the whole thing, right? You take the entire spread from his hand. Blah-blah, right? Fucking 14 little fireballs, tiny fireballs right in your face, right, dude? So that's how it works. Now when he dives in, you're gonna go down, you do the fucking, I punch the ground with the fire, right? Now you get 75 bonus health, and then you hit him with the flaming primary fire, ha-ba, ba-ba, right? 2 of them. That should be enough to finish people off with the increase of 2 projectiles that have been added since the Season 1.5 patch. Basically, you fire faster, you've got more damage than you had when Human Torch released, and now you have bonus health to be able to survive. W changes across the board for Human Torch. Instead of being like the shittiest, one of the shittiest heroes in the entire game, he will now be slightly better than one of the shittiest heroes in the entire game. Let's go. Iron Man, oh my god. My favorite superhero of all time. Are they going to make Iron Man good, please? Please make Iron Man not so easily killed in the air. Please, do something. Iron Man is seeing improvements to his mid-range combat effectiveness. Slightly reduced Iron Man's hitbox size. Woo! Oh my god. Yes! This is the problem. This is the problem with Iron Man. I talked about this all the time at the start of Season 1.5, is that, like, the reason that I want to love the character, but the reason I can't is because you appear in the sky somewhere, like, you peek out from around the side of a building, and Hela goes, pop, pop, and you just fall out of the sky, right? Like a stone. You just sink like a stone straight to the ground. But now, with a smaller hitbox, that will happen less often. New feature, gain 100 bonus health after activating Armor Overdrive or Gamma Overdrive that will start to fall off 5 seconds later at a rate of 30 health per second. The same thing that we got with Human Torch here. But more bonus health because it's attached to a long cooldown. The cooldown is the same, is it not? I just need to see this real fast. With the adjustments to the Human Torch's ability, I want to say the cooldown is actually exactly the same here. Let's just look. Bang, so we need to wait for this to disappear here, so I'm actually watching it in the game. You can't hear it because the desktop audio isn't on. But I just want to see 20 seconds. Okay. So, the bonus health that you are getting with Iron Man is slightly more than the bonus health that you're going to get with Human Torch. And the reason that you get more bonus health with Iron Man instead of Human Torch is because the Armor Overdrive ability that you use to get the bonus health is a 20-second cooldown compared to the Human Torch's 15-second cooldown, which is why you get 75 bonus health with Human Torch and why you get 100 bonus health with Iron Man. This is huge, dude. 100 bonus health when you activate Armor Overdrive. Like, when you use Armor Overdrive, that's your I'm going big dick damage ability. You know, like, I'm going the fuck in right now ability. That's the one, right? So you want that bonus health because you want to spend the entire time. You have, like, I want to say it's 8 seconds. You have, like, 8 full seconds of extra damage as Iron Man when you activate Armor Overdrive. Now, when you're doing that, you're more survivable, and he has a smaller hitbox. I am rock hard about these Iron Man and Human Torch changes. You guys might see me in my flyer meta moving into season 2. Like, I might move fully over into being a flying DPS main for season 2, at least for now. We'll see, right? But I'm very excited about this. This is actually super cool. All right, Iron Fist. Just really quickly, I just want to say, I think the changes to Iron Fist in the Season 1.5 patch were overall pretty good. Maybe it reduced his effectiveness against squishies a little too much, arguably, right? But I do think that moving him over to a pseudo-tank buster, where he is, like, more effective now against tanks, so he's less likely to target squishy characters, I think was a good change for him overall, because it's very hard to get away from him on characters that don't have a movement ability. So, like, if you have no way to get away from the Iron Fist, then he can basically just primary fire you to death if you don't have the burst damage to be able to take him out. So we're talking about, like, our, like, Invisible Woman, if she gets an Iron Fist on her, and she can use her I jump away and go invisible ability. That is literally the only thing she can do to stop him, other than, like, use a cooldown to push him off, but then he's just gonna walk the 2 steps forward, right, and just keep punching the shit out of her. So, let's see what they do. Lin Lai. We'll see an increase to his combat effectiveness against vanguards, a slight improvement to his mobility, and a slight reduction to his survivability when first entering the battlefield. Reduce the bonus max health granted from Harmony Recovery from 150 to 100, but slow the fall off rate of that health from 25 per second to 15 per second. So basically, before you go in on Iron Fist, you have the I heal myself ability. You sit Indian style, you know, cross-legged, and you, like, levitate in the sky. It heals you up and it generates bonus health for you. You want to do that either prior to going into the fight or immediately after escaping the fight to survive. That will give you bonus health, and it used to be 150. It's now going to be 100, so he's going to be a little bit easier to kill there. Lower fixed damage of Yat Ji Chung Quen from 10 to 9, but increase the percentage damage of the enemy's max health from 1.7 to 2.1. Again, this is his, after he guards, right? He puts up the guard, you know, he does the parry thing, ding, ding, whatever, and then he goes the fast punch, right? The Dragon Ball Z, I punch super fucking fast. That is going to be nerfed again. And that is, like, they already nerfed that in Season 1.5 against squishy targets. They nerfed the base value of that against squishy targets. Basically, that meant that the higher the health, the closer to what it originally was that it would be. That is the same thing that's happening here. So he's now getting even less effective against squishy targets, but even more effective against tanks. So they're kind of further pushing him into that pseudo tank buster role, while he can still do okay against the squishier targets like your support line, your strategist, or your duelists, your DPS, right? He is even more likely now to want to go up and sucker punch Groot in his teeth than he ever has been. So that's kind of good. Again, I like this change to the concept of what Iron Fist is. I think, you know, I fight the big guy is a pretty good thing for a melee character this sticky. And again, like, his primary fire launches you to the target when you use it. There's, like, a little icon that pops up around your reticle that shows you that you will actually lunge to the target when holding primary fire. And this will that can be very oppressive against characters with low hit points or low survivability overall. So pushing him towards I fight big guy who lives long time is a good thing in my opinion, because there's less possibility for him ruining the good time of the duelists and the strategists now. And then we're also decreasing the Kunlun kick from 12 seconds to 10 seconds. This is necessary. So I talked about how massive of a change 12 to 10 seconds is earlier in this balance notes, but I do want to say that, like, this is Iron Fist's only escape tool. So when he goes in, you don't want to use the kick to engage, right? So for those of you who don't know, you don't play Iron Fist, you have one movement ability. And then you have a passive movement ability, which lets you run sideways up walls, right? So you can, like, I run up the wall. Look at me. I'm up here now. Holy shit, right? But then you have like a kick, and it's like a like you kick and it goes, right? But that kick, you want to use it to disengage, because that is like the only way that you can really use it to get value. So if you use it to engage, you go into that fight, you better kill that guy. And you better hope that nobody else comes. Because if you use that kick to engage, you have no way to get out. You are fucking dead if you chose that engagement wrong. So by decreasing the cooldown of the kick, he's now going to be able to engage slightly more often. And that is a W change, in my opinion. Iron Fist is not that good of a character. A lot of people think he's, like, super oppressive. He's very easily dealt with if you choose the right characters to deal with him. So I do think that giving him the chance to be in the fight a little bit more often is a good thing overall. So good stuff. This 10-second cooldown, I believe, also lines up with his other abilities as well. So, like, when you use the harmony, right? You use the harmony, you generate the bonus health, then you run up a wall and you dive down onto them, and then you start punching them. They turn and look at you. You immediately press parry, right? Which gives you it deflects attacks. It gives you some more bonus health, lets you stay in there a little bit longer, and then you do the Yat Ji Chung Quen, where you fast punch all over the place, blah 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 blah, and then you use your kick to get out, right? When that ends, you use your kick to get out. If you got the kill, great. If you didn't get the kill, oh well, time to go. And then now you go that 10 seconds of the kick, everything will be off cooldown sequentially. It will line up, the guard will come off cooldown, and then your kick will come off cooldown. You'll be able to re-engage a little bit faster. I think that is W change across the board for Iron Fist. I'd like to see more Iron Fist in the meta, and then I would also like to see him fighting tanks more than he fights squishy characters. So I think that is going to be the case here moving into Season 2. Mr. Fantastic, please buff this guy. Reduce his tank capabilities, increase his offensive abilities. He already does the pseudo tank role decently well. He doesn't need to do it that well. He needs to do the duelist role better. So let's see what they do. We're enhancing Reed's capabilities while making some balance adjustments to his ultimate energy charge rate. Nuh-uh, bro. You're really gonna nerf his ultimate charge rate? What the fuck? This is... I'll talk about it in a second. I'm getting mad. I'm getting mad, dude. Starting to get agitated. Okay. Talk about it in a second. Let's read through the changes first. Adding additional control ability and optimizing the release experience of his ultimate. Increase base health from 350 to 375. Okay. Boost the damage of Stretch Punch from 60 to 65 and from 75 to 80 while in the inflated state. This is what I wanted. I said, please make the primary fire deal more damage. It does. It's only 5 more damage, but that is at least better. Flexible elongation, which is, for those of you who don't know, excuse me, I'm just going to pull it up so that I can read verbatim what it says. Assuming I can find this silly bitch. Where are you, you silly bitch? In my character list. There you are. Okay, so flexible elongation is the, I put one hand on your shoulder, put the other hand on your shoulder, I pull myself close to you, and I go boom, right? Balloon the chest out, and it gives you bonus health. And basically, you can use that against enemies. You can also use that on your allies to be able to shield them, give them bonus health, etc. He also gets bonus health and generates a ton of elasticity, which is the mechanic he needs to go into like the puffer fish form, where he like walks around and he's, big inflated balloon man. Flexible elongation, new effect. Enemies within range now suffer a 35% slow effect, but they're also reducing the cooldown time from 10 to 8 seconds. This is a huge buff for flexible elongation. That means that 35% slow when he uses it against you, it's going to be harder for you to get away. And because he already has like a pretty long range with his primary fire, he's going to be like, wah! And you're going to be trying to get away, and you're still going to get hit from pretty far out. So that's pretty good. You know, I think that's pretty good. And the cooldown time going down from 10 to 8 seconds means that you will be able to more easily generate elasticity, which means more time inside of his tanky form, the inflated state, you know? Okay, reduced the elasticity gained from elastic strength from 30 to 20, while the elasticity provided by Stretch Punch increases from 5 to 8. So, the elastic strength passive ability is... Using abilities generates elasticity, boosting attack power, so he deals more damage the more elasticity he has. Reaching full triggers the inflated state that grants shield and boosts even more damage. So, basically, he's going to get less from each ability that he uses. So I talked about flexible elongation, providing more elasticity. It's actually going to provide roughly the same amount because they are decreasing the... They're decreasing the cooldown by 20%, but also decreasing the amount of elasticity he gains by 33%. So, kind of balanced. You're going to get slightly less elasticity than you got before, but the primary fire is going to give you more. And after entering the inflated state, the bonus health has been reduced from 450 to 400. So good. Basically, exactly what I asked for Mr. Fantastic. Less tankiness, more damage, which is what he needed. New feature. When Mr. Fantastic uses Brainiac Bounce, immediately gain bonus health equal to that gained when entering the inflated state. Fucking what, mate? You what, dude? What? Bro. They said that they were adjusting his ultimate energy charge rate. It doesn't say that anywhere here. So maybe that will be something that they do in Season 2.5. And maybe they're adding this just to see how it goes and then determine between now and the mid-season patch how much they want to decrease how quickly his ultimate regens. I want to say this real quick. The Brainiac Bounce ultimate is the worst ultimate in the entire game. It is worse than Scarlet Witch. It is worse than Human Torch. It's worse than all of them. It is literally the worst ultimate ability in the entire game. So giving him a buff to that is kind of fine. That being said, immediately gain bonus health equal to the inflated state means that when he presses Q, this motherfucker is going to get 400 extra health. You know how hard it's going to be to kill him in Flexible or in Brainiac Bounce now? It basically means you're never going to kill him unless your entire team focuses him and kills him at the same time. As soon as he says, fantastic, your whole team is going to have to turn and shoot the fuck out of him right now. Otherwise, you are never going to kill him. That 400 extra health inside of Brainiac Bounce is crazy. That's too much health. That is too much health. The fact that Human Torch gets 75 and the fact that Iron Man gets 100 bonus health, and then you look at Mr. Fantastic and they're like, fuck it, give him 400 health, is crazy to me. Insane. We don't need him to be harder to kill. We need him to hurt more when he wants to hurt things. That's the main point here. They did give him a slight extra increase to his damage, so I do appreciate that. 400 bonus health is too much. We'll see how it plays out. Knee-jerk reaction, 400 bonus health is too much. For literally the worst ultimate ever. Just increase how lethal it is, bro. Just increase the damage. Increase the damage by 25%. Make us fear the Brainiac Bounce, rather than make it so that he just lives forever in the Brainiac Bounce. That's what we want. Moon Knight. We're optimizing Mark's Moonblade projectile bounce feedback while improving maneuverability, ultimate ability, and survivability. Increase Crescent Dart projectile speed from 120 meters per second to 150 meters per second. Very slight increase to how quickly you will be able to deal damage with Moon Knight. Fine, sure. I mean, again, the thing that I said about Moon Knight earlier still holds true. You don't want to buff the character who doesn't even duel the people he's actually fighting against. He duels the stationary Ankh on the ground or wall, right? So, you know, arguably, you don't necessarily need that. This does increase his ability to duel other characters, though, by a little bit. So that's kind of good. This is a 25% increase to how fast his primary fire lands on target. So kind of good, kind of good. Moonblade, new effect. When Moonblade is his right click, right? I just want to make sure I'm not talking out my ass. Moonblade is his right click, yes. So when he utilizes right click, new effect, gain 25 bonus health with each enemy hit, up to a maximum of 100. And it 3 seconds after the bonus health stops increasing, it will start to fall off. What do you mean it stops increasing? I guess that because it doesn't all happen instantaneously, they're counting that as like it happening over time. I guess that's fine. I guess that's totally fine, you know? A sped up Moonlight Hook pull startup time after hit from 0.4 to 0.15 seconds. What that means is when you hook onto things, whether it's on the ceiling, you know, you use the grappling hook, you use it, pulls yourself up, right? Or you use it on the ground to launch yourself up. You're going to launch yourself up faster. So that's kind of good. Extend the duration of Hand of Khonshu from 3.5 to 4.5 seconds and increase the number of talons generated from 14 to 18. Additionally, the fall speed of the talons has been slightly enhanced. A new damage fall-off mechanic for the spell field has been added, beginning at 1.5 meters from the center, reaching a maximum of 75% at 5 meters. Okay, so a hard balance to his ultimate, a hard balance change. This is actually a net buff to his ultimate overall, because you will see more hands coming out of the Hand of Khonshu. A 4.5 second increase means that, or a 1 second total increase up to 4.5 seconds, means that you will see those 4 hands that are being added will likely drop in that additional 1 second time window. So, is that good? Kind of. It's also kind of just a straight up balance change. What this means is that his ultimate will be a better zoning tool than it was before, but that doesn't necessarily mean it will be better at killing things than it was before. It also has damage fall off, so if you don't directly get hit by the Hand of Khonshu, but you stand next to it, you take that damage, you'll take slightly less damage based on how far away you actually were. I think that is fine. That's kind of fine. His ultimate needed a slight balance change. It does not kill through support ults anymore, which was the reason you brought Moon Knight along to begin with. Is that good? Maybe. Is it bad? Maybe. I'm gonna say probably. It's probably not that good. An extra 1 second onto the ultimate would be fine, but what would be better than that is if we didn't have the extra 1 second and those 4 additional hands, the talons, fell during the 3.5 seconds of being in it. That would make the ultimate itself more lethal to be inside of. This just gives you more time where it already does what it already does, you know? At less damage if you don't actually get hit by it as well. So, again, a better zoning ultimate than it was before. Not necessarily a more lethal ultimate, though. Scarlet Witch. Wanda, the Scarlet Mitch. Let's see what she gets. I'm going to take a sip of my water because I'm actually starting to get winded from having talked for the last 2 hours straight. Literally, I'm starting to get winded. Hang on. Just going to take a couple of deep breaths here. Lung capacity after my lung surgery started to catch up with me there. Scarlet Witch. We're reducing Wanda's survivability, but increasing her threat level against strategists and duelists while optimizing her ultimate ability release experience. Yo. I hope they buff the fuck out of Scarlet Witch. I want this character to be a menace. I don't know if you guys know this. Wanda is one of the most dangerous Omega level threats in all of Marvel, in the Marvel universe. Not just Marvel Rivals. She's like kind of ass in Marvel Rivals. But in terms of like the universe overall, Wanda is scary as fuck. Did you guys know that? Wanda, at one point, decided that she didn't want mutants in the world anymore. So she rewrote reality and erased mutants. Yeah, I'm dead ass. Like, you know, remember when Thanos snapped and half of the universe all disappeared at the same time? Imagine that Wanda can do the same thing, except she doesn't need an Infinity Gauntlet. She doesn't need an Infinity Stone. She just is that strong. She just stops things from existing by rewriting reality so that they no longer exist. I don't know if you guys understand how ridiculously powerful she is, but she could literally just rewrite reality to not include you. And congratulations, you are no longer a part of the world. That is, like, that level of power, when translated into who she is in the actual game as it stands right now, it's like a laughably huge difference in how scary she is. Like, right now, Wanda is like, you know, I gently tickle your ball sack with the good suck from 20 meters away. In the comics, Wanda is like, I remove you, and like, she could take the sun away. Imagine that, right? Imagine Wanda rewrites reality so there's no sun. That's the type of shit that she can do. Imagine she rewrites reality so there's no Earth. Yeah, that's Wanda in the actual lore. This Wanda, not so much, you know? So I hope they buff the shit out of her. Let's find out. Remove Chaos Control percentage damage while increasing fixed damage from 60 to 80% to 80 per second. So what is her... I'm just going to open this real quick. I'm going to drag this over here so that you guys don't have to see me messing around. What is her percentage-based damage as it currently stands? I actually don't know this off the top of my head. I know a lot about a lot of the abilities in the game, but not this one. Let's see here. We got this, Wanders. We got Primary Fire. Okay, so her damage as it currently stands is 6 base damage plus 0.3% of the enemy's maximum health. So basically nothing. When we break it down, essentially nothing in terms of the amount of percentage-based health that she actually deals. Again, we go back, if we look at Iron Fist, as he currently is going to be patched in this Season 2 meta, he's going to be at 2.1% damage per hit of your total health, right? So 2.1 compared to 0.3% of your total health is kind of ass. It's like, it's pretty trash, right? Let's bust out the old calculator real quick, right? Let's just do this real fast. We're opening up the calculator. We've got a 275 HP Luna Snow times 0.3 equals 82.5. 0.3% of her total health. Wait, that's 30%. 0.03. So 275 times 0.03 is 8 damage. So they're increasing it by quite a lot, actually. So it's going from like an 8 damage increase against a Luna Snow to a 20 damage per second increase against a Luna Snow. That's actually kind of huge. So let's break that down in terms of kill times. That means that Wanda kills Luna Snow in just under 4 seconds. Pretty good. Pretty solid overall. Actually, I kind of like that change. I hope that they are continuing to work on that. I want her damage to be really, really scary. Increase the burst projectile damage of her right click from 35 to 40 and the spell field from 35 to 40. So a total damage increase on her right click of 10 damage, which means that her burst damage is going to be slightly better. Her primary fire damage is going to be slightly better. W changes. Increase the cooldown of Mystic Projection from 8 to 10 seconds and reduce the phased state time from 2 seconds to 1.5 seconds. Woof. Alright, I don't love this one, okay? So, this is her escape tool. This means that she is going to escape less often, similarly to Hela, where she is going to see a very large increase in the cooldown of this ability. We're talking about 25% less often, same as Hela. 25% less often, Wanda will be able to disappear and re-engage from a different place. And the phase state time, where she is immune to damage, has gone down by half a second. So, 25% less often, she'll be able to escape, and for 25% less duration, she will be immune to damage. So, she's going to be more vulnerable, but also deal more damage. I think that's kind of a good trade-off. Rework the slow effect of Reality Erasure to start at 1.5 seconds instead of starting immediately, with a linear increase to a 35% slow over 3.5 seconds. Reality Erasure is her ultimate. So, instead of slowing immediately by 35% over the 3.5 seconds, she's going to start at 1.5 seconds. So she's going to be moving at full speed for the first second and a half, and then she's going to slowly get slower until the end of the ultimate when it goes boom, right? So you're going to see her be able to reposition a little bit better in her ultimate. I think these are huge changes for Wanda across the board. I love to see it, actually. I kind of love to see it. This character, in my opinion, is going to move up from a C-tier character to a B-tier character with these changes. Her decrease in survivability is kind of fine. She was already pretty wily. The increase to her lethality is going to be massive. I'm super pumped about these changes to Wanda overall. Star-Lord, we're reducing Peter's damage output and the efficiency of his ultimate ability charge rate. Reduce blaster barrage damage from 80 per second to 75 per second. So very, very slight decrease in the damage of his primary fire. And introduce a new damage fall-off mechanic starting at 4 meters, maxing out at 80% damage reduction at 8 meters. So, you need to be close range. Basically, what this means is that he'll deal a little bit less damage overall, but he will also massively, massively need to be in close range. Otherwise, Star-Lord will not be nearly as good as he was before. This is another scenario as well, where we are seeing the patch notes include a reduction to the efficiency of his ultimate ability without actually seeing what that reduction is. Will this happen in the Season 2.5 patch? Perhaps. Will it happen in the Season 2 patch? Maybe. We don't actually know at this point whether or not we will see the reduction in the ultimate charge time for him. We'll have to see. This is the second time, though, in these patch notes that they've said they're reducing how quickly somebody gets an ultimate and then not talked about it at all. So, a little odd there, in my opinion. A Winter Soldier, please nerf Bucky. Please nerf Bucky. That's all I'm going to say. Let's read it. We're lowering Bucky's threat level against Vanguards and reducing the margin for error in his ultimate ability. Increase the cooldown for Bionic Hook from 8 to 12 seconds. Holy shit! That is a huge decrease in his power of his hook. For those of you who don't use Bucky, you use the hook against tanks usually. You grab their tank, you pull them into your team, and then you turn around and uppercut them back further into your team. What that means is that the tank gets displaced very far away from his actual team. Makes it more difficult to survive when you get hooked in by Bucky. Reducing the cooldown from 8 to 12 seconds means he will have 50% less opportunities to hook you, which means that the hooks that he does use will have to be more accurate to get the same value as they were before. Huge, huge. I think that is W change. He needs more changes to his ultimate. Let's just look here. Reduce base damage of Kraken Impact from 100 to 80. But lower the culling threshold from 20% of max health to 15% of max health. That is a big, big change in his ultimate. So less damage with the ultimate overall. And you will kill targets at 15% health, insta-kill them at 15% health instead of 20% health, which is what it was before, which means not only is the ultimate going to deal less damage, it's also going to have less resets than it had before. So big changes, W changes to Bucky, in my opinion, one of the most dominant DPS characters in the game, not because of how good he is at base, but because of how good his snowball potential is. And snowballing Bucky makes him literally like the most oppressive DPS character in the whole game. When his ultimate goes off, bang, and then he resets again, right? And then he resets 500 fucking more times. That will happen less often now than it has in season, at any point, basically, in Bucky's history. So that's huge, in my opinion. I think that's great. He needed it. Let's just be real, dude. He needed that shit. He was too good. Not because of his neutral game, but because of his snowball potential. Wolverine, the menace to society, the big man on campus, the most hated DPS in the entire game. Wolverine. We're tuning Logan's rage acquisition rate and slightly lowering his control intensity over enemies. Increase how often he gets rage. Increase the rage gain from Savage Claw from 7 to 10 rage, which is good. That means every claw swipe will be 10 rage, 10 rage, 10 rage, 10 rage. I don't know exactly how he swings, but it's a 4 combo. I know that. I'm not sitting here studying the choreography of him swinging his arms that much, but it's a 4-piece combo like you would get from a KFC and it's going to increase the rage that you get by 12 rage total, 3 rage per swing. While rage gain from Berserk Claw has been decreased. Berserk Claw Strike is like after he does the dive, and now he's like slicing super fast. Ha! Right, this thing. He's gonna get less rage overall from that, from 7 to 5. That's probably pretty good. Just, you know, considering that the fire rate of his primary fire is significantly less than his Berserk Claw state, that is a good balance overall. Roughly the same amount of rage generated across the board, but, you know, balanced in a better way. So I think that's good. Reduced rage gain from Feral Leap from 20 to 10. That's his, I kidnap you and steal you from your team. Reduced the rage that you get from that from 20 to 10. That's probably pretty good. That means that he will land with 100 rage less often than he has before. Good. And from Vicious Rampage, which is his ultimate ability, from 20 to 15. However, rage gain from taking damage has been increased from 3 to 5. Okay, again, a very hard, like a strong balance across the board. Decreased how much you can generate yourself, but put it into places that make it make more sense, you know? That's good. That's good overall. We are looking at, in general, probably roughly the same amount of rage. As we weigh every change, you know, there's a buff here, a nerf here. There's a buff here, there's a nerf there. There's a nerf here, there's a buff here. So everything looks pretty good for Logan overall. I expected to see kind of harder hitting nerfs in general, but I think that it's kind of fine. Reduce the time an enemy is locked down after impact from the last stand ability from 1 second to 0.75 seconds. Good. Yeah, good. Vicious Rampage. Hang on 1 second. Where are you, Logan? Vicious Rampage. I thought that was his ultimate. It's actually his right click. So his right click will generate less rage overall. So that's good. Less rage from the right click from 20 to 15. But the last stand ultimate ability, you are now stunned for slightly less time. Very slightly less time. I don't know that a quarter of a second is really enough to do much, but in the time when you get lifted up into the air and you're stunned, you now have a very slight chance to be able to react to that. I don't know, I guess if you have like a movement ability or something like that, or like Hela, maybe probably not for Hela, since there is a, her immunity ability has like a split second where you have to press it and wait for it to activate. Wanda doesn't have that, so maybe with Wanda, if you get lifted up by Wolverine, then you can like disappear and you go into the phased state, right? I always talk about the phased state in game. This is actually the first patch notes where they have acknowledged that her movement ability is actually a phased state. But that's what it is. Phased means you phase out of existence. You are immune to all outside either help or hinder. So you can't be damaged, you can't be helped, you can't be healed. You just fucking aren't there for a little bit, right? So maybe Wanda can combat the Wolverine ultimate a little bit here and there. Adam Warlock. Adam Warlock. All right, here it goes. We're slightly reducing the frequency of Adam's abilities and adjusting the healing provided by his ultimate ability after reviving teammates. Increase the cooldown for Soul Bond from 30 to 40 seconds. Wow. Massive, massive nerf to his Soul Bond ability. Soul Bond was a pretty good ability overall. I don't think it really needed to be nerfed. I think if anything needed to happen, you leave that alone. I think if anything needed to happen, you leave that alone and you increase his base healing output. That would be, in my opinion, a better way to do this. Karmic Revival ultimate now restores 30% of a fallen ally's maximum health instead of a fixed 100 health. Let's bust out the old calculator again. What this means is that squishy characters will come back with even less health than they had before. Imagine this. Okay, I just want to point this out. A 250 HP character times 30% of their health means that they come back with 75 HP now, bro! Squishy characters that get rezzed by Adam Warlock are going to die even faster than they did before. Why? Well, nobody fucking knows, bro. Nobody really understands that change. Actually, both of these changes are kind of L changes for Adam Warlock. I don't like this character. I don't think I've made any qualms about that. That being said, I do think he could use some buffs. And both of these are pretty hard nerfs. He's not so good that he needs to be nerfed without being balanced in other ways. I think it's crazy, in my opinion, that you would nerf his ultimate, literally one of the worst ultimates in the entire game. You kind of nerfed it a little bit. It's good for tanks, right? You know, you got a Groot. Let's just clear this out. You got a Groot. He's got 800 health points times 30%. Groot comes back with 240 hit points when he gets res now. Awesome, right? Yeah, except for the fact that that Cloak and Dagger you brought back had 75 hit points, and the Hulk on the enemy team, he let out a gamma gas. You know, he fucking farted, and that Cloak and Dagger that you just rezzed caught an extra death. Congratulations. You literally made one of the worst ultimates in the game worse. This is just the Adam Warlock equivalent of you balancing Mr. Fantastic's Brainiac bounce in Season 1.5. This is so bad for Adam Warlock. This is actually such an L change for Adam. Fucking fix this guy, bro. Give him some love, for the love of God. I hate seeing this guy already. Now I'm just gonna hate seeing him more? Why would you do this to me? Terrible, terrible idea. Cloak and Dagger. We're optimizing the logic of this dynamic duo's ultimate ability. Uh-oh. Fucking uh-oh, dude. After activating Eternal Bond, the duration of the first 3 healing zones will no longer be calculated separately. Instead, they will remain active until the duration of the final healing zone ends, at which point all will be removed together. I take it back. This is a giant buff for Cloak and Dagger. Dude, that's huge, dude. That is huge, bro. Okay, so how this works now. What this means is that all of Cloak and Dagger's damage and healing fields that they spread across when they use ultimate are going to remain for the full duration of the ultimate. That means that you're going to see the dash happen. That first dash is going to stick around as long as the 4th dash. That is a huge buff. Huge buff. Because they only lasted 5 seconds before, right? So you would dash, and then that first dash, 5 seconds later, that would disappear. So, you know, you do your dash, your next dash, and your next dash, and finally your final dash. And then after you come out of it, you have like 1 second of that first dash sticking around before it disappears. And your teammates had to advance with you. Otherwise, they're no longer in your ultimate, right? That got changed in Season 1.5, I believe. And so that's how it worked then. Now, the first dash is not going to expire until the full 5 seconds after you have ended the final dash, and then all of it will disappear simultaneously. That's huge, dude. Cloak and Dagger was already very good, already basically an A-tier, like very high A-tier character. I know a lot of people are down bad on this character. A lot of people have said that she's like one of the worst supports in the game. You guys are just bad at her. You're just bad at her. I'm telling you, she is really good. I have played with this character for many, 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 many hours. I know exactly how to use them. I know exactly what their strengths and weaknesses are, and you just made them even better. Hell yeah, dude. Fucking hell yeah, bro. Awesome, bro. Awesome change. Sue Storm. We'll be fine-tuning Susan's protective capabilities to create a more strategic gameplay experience. Decrease the value of Guardian Shield from 300 to 250. Okay. Yeah, sure. That is like the smallest change you could ever think of. That does mean that occasionally her Guardian Shield will break more often, and you will have it on cooldown a little bit more often. That means a very slight decrease to her healing overall. What we needed to see was a decrease to the duration of her ultimate. I think that support ultimates needed to be nerfed. The entirety of their duration needs to be nerfed across the board. The support ults that give you full autonomy during them, I think need to be brought down to a 6-second ultimate from an 8-second ultimate. So we're talking about Mantis, we're talking about Cloak and Dagger, though their change, you know, is different. But Mantis, God damn it, I'm spacing. Give me a second. Mantis, Sue Storm, and... is that it? Yeah, Mantis and Sue Storm reduce the duration of their ultimate to 6 seconds total. I think that is good. And then you take Luna Snow's ultimate and you reduce it to 8 seconds total. The reason that Luna gets a longer ultimate is because she does not maintain full autonomy of her character during her ultimate. So she can do one thing, which is swap between healing or damage, but she can't deal damage. She can't use her abilities. That's why she needs to have a slightly longer ultimate, but it needs to have its time reduced by like 50%. So we're talking from 12 seconds down to 8 seconds for Luna, and then for the other two, Mantis and Sue, you need that time reduced from 8 seconds to 6 seconds, and that will massively, massively increase the amount of agency that the DPS and the Vanguards get to have, and we won't just be sitting here playing the I fucking wait until the support ultimates end game that we're currently playing in Marvel Rivals. I love this game. I love the characters in this game. I love that the ultimates feel powerful. I love that everybody has, pretty much everybody even, has like a pretty good kit that feels really strong. But the amount of support ultimates in the game they come up too frequently, even still, and they last too fucking long, even still, and they haven't nerfed how long they last. Please adjust their duration. I'm praying, please, to the NetEase gods. I don't know what gods you pray to in China, but I'm praying to those ones. Please, reduce the duration of support ultimates. For the love of God, so that we can play the game again. We just want to use our stuff and have it feel cool. It doesn't take away their power. You know, Big Circle of Healing Ultimate still is Big Circle of Healing, you know? But less often and for a shorter period of time so that we can continue to be impactful on the game across the board. Please. Loki, they're gonna dumpster my boy right here, dude. They're gonna dumpster my boy, and I'm very sad about it. To balance Loki's influence in matches, we're making a small adjustment to the frequency of one of his key abilities, increased regeneration domain cooldown from 25 to 30 seconds. Not necessary. Unnecessary change in my opinion. Loki still needs a support ultimate to be able to do those big healing moments, like the big healing stop. I don't think that this was necessary in any way. There's no reason for this. Yes, it's the best, in my opinion, is the best support ability across the game, not including the ultimates. But that being said, I don't think him nor Adam Warlock needed a decrease in their effectiveness. This was unnecessary, dude. Just give it back. Just give back their abilities. Buff Adam Warlock, please. Please. And leave Loki alone. He's already the highest skill ceiling character. Leave him alone. Let him be a high skill ceiling character. It's totally fine. Mantis. To emphasize strategy over speed, we're modifying Mantis's health and buff mechanics. Reduce base health from 275 to 250 HP. Woof. Effects of Healing Flower and Allied Inspiration can be stacked up to a maximum of 16 seconds. Okay. This is cool only if, this is very important, only if the healing over time actually stacks as well. Increasing the duration is fine, but the healing over time from Mantis is pretty low. The healing over time that you give to your teammates is pretty low. So if you can stack the two healing over times together, now we're talking, right? So we're talking about, let's just, so I'm not talking out my ass. I'm going to actually look up how much healing over time you get when you use it on Mantis. When you use her healing flower, you give... Where are you? Healing over time is 20. So if you can stack them and it's now 40, I think that's good. I think that's a good change. You know, you use 2 leaves, it cost resource, but you got to increase the healing that you put on somebody. I think that's good. Increasing the healing duration is not what this character needs, really. You know, what they really need is the ability to heal more, not the ability to heal longer, you know? So, anyway, some nerfs to Mantis and a little bit of changes, potentially a buff. It looks like, yes, being able to stack them is obviously a straight up buff, but that being said, it's not like such a big buff that we needed to see a decrease to her survivability. This could have happened without reducing her health, in my opinion. Rocket Raccoon. Rocket's healing abilities will see some adjustments to enhance team survivability while balancing his mobility. No, no, no! Don't do it. Don't take away his wiliness. That's what makes him so cool. All right, decrease the healing area of repair mode spheres from 70 health to 50 health, but add a new effect of one-time healing of 55 health to allies hit. Yo, what? So it's 70 health to 50 health per second, but they instantly get hit with 55 health as soon as it gets hit. So I guess that's kind of okay. Projectile speed reduction increased from 4.5 meters per second to 7 meters per second. So, projectile speed reduction. So they're going to decrease in speed now to 7 meters per second, which means, if I'm reading this correctly, that means that the healing orbs from Rocket will linger longer around your teammates. Does that make sense? So they will slow down more so that they continue to heal as they pass through. That's what I'm reading here. At least that's how I take this. Extended cooldown for a jetpack dash from 6 to 10 seconds. Reduced dash distance from 10 to 8 meters. Fuck. Fuck, bro. That's like a 66% nerf to his ability to dash. That means he can dash 66% less often. That is really bad. That is really, really rough for Rocket. We could have done 6 seconds to 8 seconds, you know? And the fact that you also reduced how far he dashes, was that really necessary? I don't know, bro. Like, yeah, he's hard to kill, but like, come on. That's because he's so small, too. You know, that also has to do with his hitbox. So maybe if we just increased his hitbox size slightly, you wouldn't have to reduce how far he dashed. In my opinion, I think that's maybe a step too far. Maybe, arguably, step too far. We'll have to try it and see. I definitely think that is, I definitely think that's too far in, dude. That's way too much, bro. 66% reduction in his ability to dash. Bro, that's the reason we liked the fucking character, dude. Like, the cool thing about Rocket is that we could stay alive. Removing our ability to stay alive doesn't make the character more fun, in my opinion. Reduced the ultimate damage boost from 40 to 25%, but add a new effect. During the ability's duration, linked allies will receive an additional 100 bonus health per second, capping at 150. After breaking the link, this bonus starts to fall off after 1 second at a rate of 75 health per second. Additionally, increase the energy cost. Bro, this is bad. This is bad across the board. Nothing is good about this at all. So, Rocket's damage boost is going from 40% to 25%. So, you could combo certain things to be able to kill through Luna Snow's ultimate with the 40% damage buff. There were certain combos that it could work with. That is going to be much, much harder. Now, what this does give him is a very small increase to the survivability when utilizing his ultimate. So now you'll hear, "Hey team, enjoy the amplifier," right? And now you will know that your damage goes up very slightly, and you are now also getting a very small amount of bonus health. So this is, if you remain inside of its area of effect, you're looking at 800 total bonus health generated across the entirety of his ultimate, assuming you stay within the spots where you are actually affected by the ultimate. That is fine. It makes it like a pseudo support ult. You know what I mean? It's almost like Captain America's ultimate now, where you have to remain within the effective range, and then it will give you some bonus health at 100 bonus health per second, capping at 150 HP total bonus health. So that means that you can't go up to 800 total bonus health, but if you are continuously taking damage throughout that entire time, then you will generate up to 800 total additional health. That means that he is like a pseudo support ultimate and like an even worse version of his damage buff. I mean, dude, I'm just gonna say this. I think that every one of these changes to Rocket Raccoon is an L. And I really hate saying that. I really hate that that is actually the case. I genuinely think that every one of these nerfs is an L take. Leave this character alone. If anything, buff the damage buff in his ultimate. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine if instead of a 40% damage buff, we got a 70% damage buff. And now more things can kill through the support ultimates of the enemy team. Think about it that way for a second. Now, the impact of the support ultimates becomes less scary and less the game just stops while we wait for this to be over than it is currently, without you having to actually nerf the duration of the support ultimates, right? Like, imagine a 70% damage buff instead of a 40% damage buff. Now we can combo a lot of things to kill that Luna Snow while she's putting on a show. You know what I mean? That is where we should be taking this character, not the other way, right? And removing his mobility, like significantly decreasing his mobility, you're just gonna shit on the guys who like this character. The reason they like him is his mobility, not because he gets to heal a lot. Just throwing this out there. NetEase, you went the complete wrong direction with this set of nerfs. I don't like any of these changes to Rocket Raccoon. All of this is shit. Revert all of it. Increase the amount of damage increase that you get from the CYA ultimate to a massive degree, and let us kill through the support ults. That's what we want. If you're not going to reduce how long the support ultimates last, let us kill through them better. And I think that would be a massive W change, as opposed to these, which are L's across the board. This is just L after L after L for Rocket Raccoon and Rocket Mains. And in addition to that, you're going to get the ultimate less often. Was that really necessary? Like, this ultimate that you barely get to use to any effectiveness at all, you're now going to get less often? I'm fucking shocked at how bad these changes are for Rocket. Genuinely, you ruined this character, pretty much, in my opinion. Very, very shit. Very shit. All right, let's go through the team up stuff. Team up abilities: Arcane Order, the Doctor Strange Scarlet Witch one. The team up anchor gives Doctor Strange an increase of 100 health. Bro, you decreased his lethality so that you could revert the season 1.5 change when he has the team up active, and then also he gets 50 extra health than he had before. But you lowered how damaging the character is so that you could give him 50 additional hit points when there's a Wanda on the team? What kind of stupid shit is this? This is terrible. This is a bad change. Give Doctor Strange back his lethality, and then make the team up anchor bonus only 50 health. You know, revert the season 1.5 change when he has a Wanda around, and then leave him the same otherwise. That's my opinion on the changes here. Scarlet Witch unlocks new magical Mystic Burst ability through the team up with Doctor Strange. Does not tell us how much damage they deal, so we don't actually know. Is it good? Is it bad? Hard to say. We'll have to find out later. Stars aligned. Captain America and Winter Soldier team up. As the team up anchor, Cap gains maximum health increase of 5%. And a 5% increase to damage output. Okay, if we're gonna add an increase to the damage output of Captain America, give it to Doctor Strange also. If you're gonna reduce his efficiency when he's alone, then you also need to increase his damage with the team up, I think. Give him the 5% damage buff that you're giving to Captain America. Make Captain America's a 10% damage buff. Because, like, I don't know if you guys know this, Cap feels like you're slapping things with a banana peel when you are using his primary fire. Or, like, any of his abilities, really. Like, Cap feels like if you got one of those foam rubber sword things, right? Or like a fucking pair of sock'em boppers, you know, those blow up, you blow up the inflatable balloon hands, right? And then you punch the shit out of your little brother, right? But it doesn't actually hurt him. That's what it feels like to play Captain America now. He needs more damage output, and you need to give Doctor Strange back his damage output. Having tanks be lethal is not a bad thing, and I want to discourage them from making tank lethality a negative across the board. Don't do that. Don't do that, bro. We need tanks to be lethal, otherwise they're not threatening, and you don't give a fuck about seeing them. Does that make sense? A tank needs to be threatening. There needs to be the fear of death when you see a tank, and that's why they're a threat that needs to be dealt with. As of right now, the less damage they deal, the less threatening they become, and so you just ignore them and you kill their backline. You know what I mean? Okay, so Captain America gets 100 bonus health and a 5% damage increase. Winter Soldier is going to get the Stellar Impact ability through his team up. We don't know how much damage that deals. Is it good? Is it bad? We don't know. Mantle Projection from Emma Frost with Psylocke and Magneto. As the team up anchor, Emma Frost gains a maximum health increase of 100. We don't know if that's good or bad. Obviously, extra health is never bad, but does she need a damage boost? We won't know until Season 2 launches. Magneto receives the Magnetic Resonance ability. And then Psylocke gets the Soul Resurgence, which we saw in the video, gives them essentially a Loki clone version of Magneto and a Loki clone version of Psylocke, which appear to mimic your abilities. Ideally, it will mimic both your left and right clicks, but I would assume, just based on how powerful that could be for both Magneto and for Psylocke, that we will only see the clone give you additional left click damage, which is fine. Still good, not the best ever. Adjusted or removed. Ammo overload with Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier has been taken out of the Rocket Raccoon team up. W change, in my opinion. He's already too strong. We need ways to nerf him without directly nerfing him, and this is one of those. Chilling Charisma with Luna Snow. We see that Luna Snow no longer gives Namor the slowing turret. That's a W change as well. Dimensional Shortcut, Magic, and Psylocke. Psylocke can no longer rewind time. W change there because the clone ability is very interesting. The rewind time ability, while very interesting, gives Psylocke maybe a little bit too much survivability, where this character is already pretty survivable with her mobility and the bonus health that she generates as well, so maybe they don't need that too much. Gamma Charge, taking away Doctor Strange's team up there, and now he's going to have the team up with Wanda. I think this is fine, because the Doctor Strange team up with Hulk was so minimal in its impact that it really didn't matter anyway. It's so minimal that it, like, you almost never saw a benefit from it to begin with, so giving Strange his own team up is totally fine. Metallic Chaos, the sword is gone. Disconnect and family synergy, it has been removed entirely. What does that mean? That means that they have fixed the problem that they had with Magneto prior to this, which is that a single person can pick Scarlet Witch at the beginning of the game. They could just pick her, and then they give Magneto the team-up ability, and his team-up ability never went away when you would swap off of Scarlet Witch. Crazy, right? So he would get to keep that team-up for the entire game just because somebody in your lobby at the beginning of the match played Scarlet Witch for 3.5 seconds, and you press the team-up, and now you have it forever. So they removed that bug. They probably couldn't figure out a way to take that away. And so instead of giving this as a team-up ability, they're just like, well, fuck it, we'll just take the whole thing out and give Scarlet Witch a different team-up, which I think is fine. And as well, if the team-up with Doctor Strange increases her lethality by quite a lot, I think that's actually a W change, because Wanda needs the help, Magneto does not. Voltaic Union, the Thor team up with Captain America and Storm is also gone, which is good. That reduces Storm's effectiveness with the team up, which allowed her to more easily be able to one-hit people. And also, Captain America's Charged Aegis ability, which is like, shield gets lightning, throw shield, get lightning, right? That was basically how this went. That is also gone, which again is going to further limp dick the damage output of Captain America. We need a bigger damage increase for this character. You nerfed his survivability for fucking what, though? You know? Like, he already wasn't that good. Why did you nerf his survivability? And then you give him the survivability back with the team up with Bucky. Again, I don't really think that that's a W change, in my opinion. Give him back the survivability he previously had, and then increase, instead of giving him bonus health with Bucky, give him a larger damage buff so that he feels threatening. Because, like, right now, Captain America's on me. You can, like, if you're a support player and you get dove by Captain America, he comes up, he has to punch you, like, 700 times to be able to get the kill, and that's assuming that you only heal a little bit, right? Like, if you're trying to punch a Rocket Raccoon to death as Captain America, you would have a better time punching through a brick wall. You would have, like, in real life, right? Like, you would have a better time flying a Cybertruck. That's how bad it is. Like, it is not, it's simply not going to happen. You are not going to kill the squishy heroes that can heal themselves as Captain America. Give him some more damage, in my opinion. That is going to do it for your Season 2 patch notes. I would love to hear your comments down in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys think. W changes, L changes. Who do you like? Who do you not like? Thank you guys all very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. All right, so that is going to cover our That's going to cover our patch notes here. I want to go through and talk to you guys now about the changes overall. I want to go through. I'm sorry that I didn't read chat for all of this, but you can tell me now in the live chat which are the changes that you are reacting positively or negatively to, and I will do my best to interpret them as I read through everything that's been typed since I started reading off the patch notes. It's important that I respond to all of you, but I did want to get through all of that without having to edit a massive fucking patch notes video that's going to take me 4 hours to edit later on today. So here we go. Going up to the start, we got Tyr was commenting. He said, he needs buffed. He does no damage even to tanks. Are we talking about Cap? Because that was like the first change here, and this is pretty close. He needs buffs. He does no damage even to tanks. Or are you talking about Iron Fist? I think that might be an Iron Fist change. I'm just going to see what you said here. I saw somebody typed. Yes, it was to Captain America. Yeah, he sucks, bro. His damage is so sad. Incredibly sad damage from Cap overall. I don't like any of the changes really that were made to him directly. You know, reduce the shield. Like, why reduce his shield health? You know, his shield was fine. Reduced his damage or his base health by 25 for what though? You know, it wasn't really necessary. There's going to be no one playing him. Yeah, I would anticipate that the only reason you play Captain America now is when teamed up with a Bucky, and I think that the Bucky Cap team up hopefully will be very good, but more for the increased health for Captain America and less for giving Bucky more buttons to press. That's not necessarily what I think he needs. Tyr says, and I'll come back to read the rest of that, I'll be happy if we get Daredevil, dude. That's all I want. I would be a happy man. Yo, I don't blame you, dude. I think that Daredevil is a super cool character. I think that Matt Murdock is has cool lore. I think that Charlie Cox, the guy who played Matt Murdock in the Netflix/Disney Plus series, is such a baller fucking superhero actor. I think that I would love to see Charlie Cox come in and actually be the voice actor for Daredevil when they add him to the game. That would be so badass, in my opinion. I love Daredevil. I love his character in the MCU shows. So, you know, I'd love to see that. That's a lot. 4 extra seconds is kind of huge. It is kind of huge. Let's see, who are we talking about? 4 extra seconds here. 4 extra seconds. I'm trying to find it. Hanny, who are you talking about? 4 extra seconds. Bucky. Bucky got nerfed into the ground, dude. He got nerfed into the ground. He is not very good. He is, he's still going to be very, very strong. I mean, his changes specifically, they were all pretty much nerfs for Bucky. So, W for me, in my opinion, because he was just too strong. His snowball potential was too high. But, yeah, dude, reducing his bionic hook cooldown by 50% is a massive nerf. What are they thinking? They're nerfing all the people that needs buffed and buffing all the people that needs nerfed. I do think that happened to a lesser extent here. They nerfed Adam Warlock and nerfed Rocket Raccoon for no reason. Adam Warlock desperately needed buffs. No reason that you should have nerfed him. And I don't think that a lot of these characters need as many changes as are being given here. I think that some of these changes go in a weird direction, in my opinion. We'll have to see, obviously, how they play out, but a lot of weird changes for me. Let's see here. He also got his team up removed. Yeah, so Bucky losing his team up and losing the bionic hook cooldown for 50% of the time, and also reducing how much damage he deals with his ultimate, and making it more difficult to actually secure kills after his ultimate to be able to get those resets. This is a hard balance change for Bucky, but I think this will really effectively pull him in line with a lot of the other DPS characters. So I do think that's kind of good overall. Very nice. Let's see those healer changes. Those healer changes were not what I was hoping for. They hate Adam Warlock. Bro, they hate Adam Warlock almost as much as I hate Adam Warlock, dude. I was not anticipating seeing this in the changes list. Adam Warlock got fucked in this patch, and not in a good way. You know, like, no one No one is riding the Adam Warcock in this moment. Like, he is dead. He is dead in the water, dude. Like, a massive nerf to his soul bond ability. They nerfed his ultimate. I need to laugh about this again. They nerfed his fucking ultimate, bro. Why would you do that? We already hate being resurrected by Adam Warlock. Why would you make it so most of the game gets resurrected with less health than we had before? That is the stupidest, most off-the-wall, out-of-left-field change I have ever seen, bro. What the fuck were you thinking? Alright, he's pretty weak/mid before. He was absolutely weak. Why, NetEase? Because fuck Adam Warlock. Yo, Hannibal, you are so right. That is exactly what they said. They were like, well, the reason we're gonna nerf Adam Warlock is because fuck that guy. And look, I couldn't agree more, but at the same time, I'm still gonna see Adam Warlock in all these games, so can we maybe get some buffs that make sense so that the character doesn't feel so bad to play with? Because in my opinion, he feels like shit to play with. I fucking hate when there's an Adam Warlock on my team, and now I'm gonna hate it even more, which is not good. Not good. Cloak and Dagger players eating good? Yes. That is very powerful change for Cloak and Dagger. An extremely powerful change. I love that. Cloak and Dagger is one of my favorite support characters, so yeah, they nerfed Rocket, but who was better than Rocket in terms of keeping the team alive? Cloak and Dagger, bro. Cloak and Dagger was already better than Rocket for me. And now, just even more so, you know? They want you shielding more, it seems. Well, the thing about the Guardian Shield, Hanny, is that it has a cooldown based on how much damage it took. So, what does that mean? So, if it takes 25% damage, it's got a small cooldown. 50%, it's got a longer cooldown, all the way up to 100%, where it has a full 6-second cooldown. So if the shield breaks, it goes on cooldown for 6 seconds. Now it's going to be breaking more often, which means you're going to be shielding slightly less than you were before. So, you know, whatever. Look at how they slaughtered my boy. They hurt Loki. They hurt Loki, and I'm not here for it. I don't think that this needed a 30-second cooldown. This move was fine. It's Loki's ability to copy the already broken support ultimates that is too good, you know? Did ChatGPT make these changes, bro? I think they must have. I think ChatGPT was like, this is how I would balance Rocket Raccoon. That's my best robot voice. This is how I would balance Rocket Raccoon. That's better, slightly better, now that I put some thought into it. But you know, ChatGPT, they wrote up a round of nerfs for Rocket. Absolutely unnecessary across the board. My opinion is just one man's. However, I do think that making his ultimate... This is the hill I will die on. The hill I will die on is... make Rocket Raccoon's damage ultimate the way to counter the support ults. Even if we have to commit a damage ult and Rocket's ult to be able to kill through Luna Snow, let us do it. Give us more player agency to be able to kill that bitch when she puts on a show. When Luna Snow says, I'm ready to put on a show, I want to hear, hey team, enjoy the amplifier. And I want the Grinch gif. Grinch smile gif. I'm gonna go back over here. This is what I want to see. This right here. As soon as I hear Luna Snow use her ultimate, I want to see I want to hear Rocket Raccoon go, hey team, enjoy the amplifier. And then I want to feel like this, right? Is there a larger one of these? That's larger. Nope, that's not a GIF though. This. Bro, this is what I want. As soon as I hear, hey team, enjoy the amplifier, I want to feel just like this. I want to feel that maniacal fucking laughter, knowing that I'm about to dumpster this bitch while she stands in front of me and puts on this stupid show. While she stands here and is invulnerable to damage, not anymore. I'm coming for your neck. You know, that's how I want to feel. And like right now, Rocket Raccoon's ultimate, it just doesn't really do that. And now, after the changes, going from 40% damage buff to a 25% damage buff, not only is it not going to allow us to kill through the ultimates, it's going to be shittier even than killing normal people, which is crazy to me, insane to me. This is exactly, please buff his ultimate. That's the hill I'll die on. Buff his damage buff. That's what we need. More counters, not less. So fuck Spider-Man counters, 100%, dude. You noticed Spider-Man is not listed in the changes to the duelists at all. that's because they want to see more Spider-Man. And that's why they got rid of Namor's slow turret, because it makes Spider-Man harder to play, and they think that Spider-Man is a fun and engaging character to see be played and to play yourself. So that whatever, dude. I don't particularly agree with that. What I do think Spider-Man needs a small balance adjustment with his uppercut move. Its spell field is currently 5 meters, which I want you to imagine this for a second. 5 meters is 15 feet. Imagine if you went like this and something 15 feet away from you got knocked off a table. That would be fucking crazy, right? That's what happens with Spider-Man. So I would love to see his AoE range of his uppercut ability be nerfed from 5 meters down to 2.5 meters so that they actually have to be on your screen for you to deal damage with them. You can literally not have them on your screen, not visible to you at all, and still damage them with your uppercut ability, which is insane to me. Please, NetEase, just balance that one part of Spider-Man. Other than that, I think he's kind of fine. I think he's all right. Rocket got fucked. Yes, he did. I've never, this isn't a show about bestiality, but if you guys were wondering what it looks like when a raccoon gets fucked, this is it. So, yeah, so thanks a lot, NetEase. Must be a Chinese game development studio thing. We don't really fuck raccoons too much here in the States, but they are expert raccoon fuckers over there in China. Jesus Christ. I feel so bad for every Rocket main. It's just rough, bro. It's just rough for everyone. Rough across the board. I'll be happy if we get Daredevil. Yeah, we talked about that. Perfect counter to all invisible characters. Yes, agreed. I'm gonna have to find new mains to play, man. Dude, I think that, I said this earlier, but I think that I might be moving into my flying hero villain arc here. I might be moving into a Iron Man / Human Torch meta for myself, just because I think that those would be fun to play. I desperately wanted them to be better at staying alive because I want to play them, I want to love them, but currently they just get shit on so hard. So seeing these changes is huge in my opinion. Although I still think that Human Torch needs more damage, specifically in his ultimate. I think that Human Torch with like a 25% damage buff to his ult, like for every bit of it, would be huge. I think that would be a W change in my opinion, but whatever. Maybe they've crunched the numbers and they know that giving him too much damage in his Fire Tornado would make it just impossible to play against. I'm not sure, but that's my suspicion here as to why they didn't nerf his ult or buff his ultimate, because like dude, the damage Fire Tornado ultimate is such ass, dude. It is such ballsack. Like, it's so fucking bad, dude. Whatever. Maybe they'll fix it later. Maybe. We'll see. We'll have to wait a month and see in the Season 2.5 patch if they decide they're going to do something fun with that. I can't say it enough. Just give us Daredevil. We need a counter to the invisible characters, and he's the perfect pick for that. That is an interesting point because he can see sound. So he would be able to see the footsteps of characters that are invisible. That is a very interesting point that you've got there, Tier. And I also think it would be cool if Spider-Man could do that based on his Spidey sense ability. His Spidey sense is really powerful as it is right now because it does tell you when people are nearby. But to be able to kind of get a more locked-in type of read on where these characters are, that would be super dope. Yeah, footsteps, heartbeats, etc. Yes, exactly, dude. That would be very cool. I think that would be awesome. Let's say half the characters just got Thanos snapped into the fucking void. I don't know about like half, but a lot of them caught nerfs that I feel like they didn't need. Doctor Strange's damage, I feel like didn't need to be nerfed. Rocket Raccoon across the board, I feel like didn't need to be nerfed. I agree with Winter Soldier. I agree with Star-Lord. I love all the changes to Scarlet Witch. Moon Knight's balance is more balance and less of a buff or a nerf. Mr. Fantastic changes pretty good, although I do think the bonus health to his ultimate is too strong. The changes to Iron Fist are W's in my opinion. Human Torch, W. Iron Man, W. Hela, okay. Again, I'd still like to see that 2-tap to get changed for Hela, but I understand not walking it back after only half a season. Let's give it maybe one full season before we decide that is not good for the game. Hawkeye, huge buffs to Hawkeye, dude. I do think we'll be seeing Hawkeye in this next meta, in the Season 2 meta, very, very heavily. Thor buffs, Yo, Mike is going to be eaten so good with these Thor buffs, dude. Imagine being Mike and finding out that the hero you love the most just got buffed pretty significantly. Good for Mike. The Thing is fine. Small change to the Thing. Penny Parker buff is kind of okay. Whatever. I am really interested to see what has a chance to crit means. What are you fucking talking about, a chance? Magneto ult getting nerfed is kind of okay. Hulk getting a small buff, kind of okay. Yeah, so some of these characters got nerfed too hard. I will say that, though. Footsteps, heartbeats would be a cool thing to be able to see on characters like Daredevil and on characters like Spider-Man. I'm sure a case could be made for some other characters as well. Like, maybe Wolverine can smell them. You know what I mean? Like, that's not an ability that we see inside of Wolverine's kit in the game currently, but wouldn't it be cool if they left behind little, like, scent streams? Like, in the way that Captain America, when he runs around in his ultimate, he leaves behind, like, the red, white, and blue, like, stream behind him. Wouldn't it be cool if Wolverine could see invisible characters' scent trail? That'd be fucking sick, right? That'd be kind of cool, in my opinion. We need a buff for Cap 100%, or he's just a meat shield. Yeah, he's just a meat shield with legs. You know, he's just a meat shield that can sprint. I think that would be cool. But that would make him too useful, and we need other characters to be useful. He is really good right now. So I do think Wolverine probably could use a small change to his damage output versus tanks. He is very, very strong right now, and they basically didn't nerf that at all, which I think is crazy, dude. This is like the 3rd or 4th patch in a row where Wolverine just didn't get nerfed. I don't know how he keeps escaping, but here he is, back on his bullshit, you know? So that's kind of wild, but yeah. That might make him too useful. So maybe in a world where he got balanced a little bit, you know, changed, like, tuned down slightly, that might be better. But yeah, dude, some wild shit, bro. Really cool changes overall. Just make him as useless as Iron Fist, and tanks can have a party. Look, I'm not saying that bad, right? But, like, meet in the middle. You know, meet in the middle. If Iron Fist is like Tank Buster Light, then Wolverine can be like Tank Buster Medium, whereas current Wolverine is like Omega Tank Buster, you know? Because he literally just destroys. He literally absolutely destroys. So, yeah, not that bad. I don't know. I don't think Iron Fist is... I honestly don't think Iron Fist is that bad. You have to be a very skilled player to use him, but he is actually pretty solid. The problem came in that he had no way to disengage when the job was done. That was really the issue, and we're kind of seeing a bit of a change there. Like, you have to be a very good Iron Fist player to be able to play him and get a lot of value, but when you time your engagements properly, when you know when to engage and when to disengage, he could still do pretty well prior to this, and then seeing some increases to his tank busting ability, as well as a greater increase to his mobility overall, is going to be solid for this character just existing and doing well. His base value just went up significantly, and his skill floor just went down a little bit as well. So that, I think that's pretty good. I want to see you try and play him. That would be interesting to watch. I've played him before. You can see it in some of my other gameplays, although this is arguably not as good of a representation because I played him during variety stream days. So I would have played him on, like, if you go back and you watch some of the VODs, I have, like, the biggest losers in Marvel Rivals. I did a couple of those shows where you see me play the lowest win rate heroes in the game, and I played Iron Fist in those. Again, it can be kind of difficult to utilize his stuff, and I don't play the character that often. So I don't have everything on like a muscle memory. You press this into this into this. So the flow isn't perfect, you know? So I have to think about each thing that I need to do next because I know how it's supposed to look, but because I have to think about it, there's like that slight pause that ends up getting me killed a few times. So you can go back and you can watch it. It's not as impressive as you want it to be, right? But again, this is probably before some of the season 1.5 changes as well. So I don't 100% remember the dates on those, but I did play some of them. But like, if you go in and you watch some really skilled Iron Fist players in Eternity, you will see what I'm talking about. The engagement has to be chosen correctly, but when they do choose correctly, he can dumpster certain characters. Specifically, he can do really well against tanks, and he was absolutely dumpstering all the support characters and the low HP characters prior to the Season 1.5 patch. When he chooses the engagement and doesn't get followed up on, they just couldn't do anything against him, which is why they made the changes to him that they made to kind of push him more into the tank buster role and pull him back from the kind of general duelist role overall. That's literally the reason, is because his homing, his lock-on, made it so that you just couldn't escape if you didn't have the survivability to live through it, A, or B, the movement ability to be able to disengage far enough that he couldn't stay locked onto you. That's why you see Iron Man, like, up in the sky. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's Iron Man beating the shit out of... it's Iron Fist beating the shit out of Iron Man 400 meters above the ground, and the Iron Man can't fly away, even with his increased movement, because the Iron Fist just locks on and just keeps punching, and somehow is able to stay in the sky. You'd see him, dude, he'd be like, whoop, 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 and the fucking Iron Man's just trying to fly away. He's like, no, please, no, God. And the Iron Fist is just right behind him, just right on his tail. No matter where the Iron Man goes, Iron Fist is right on his shit. Oh, God, it was so funny, dude. It's so funny to look at. It's hard to play him in low ranks because in the top ranks, the healers know what to do with him and how to help. But in low ranks, it's like watching a monkey with an aim issue trying to heal me. That is very difficult. But that could be said about a lot of characters as well. So, like, characters with travel time on their heals, it can be very difficult to heal characters that move around a lot. Specifically, as somebody who plays a lot of Loki, for me, it's very difficult to hit players in the sky with Loki because the travel time on the heal, by the time it makes it to them, they've strafed. So, like, I'm trying to heal them, they're up here, I send the heal up, and it makes it here, and they start going, and now the heal goes that way, right? Or like a Venom or somebody like that. It can be hard to hit Venom while he's, like, swinging around doing his shit because, like, the heal travel time is just so difficult to be able to get to him. That's a similar problem with Iron Fist, where you're like running up a wall, you're running sideways along the wall, and your healer can't hit you. It's because, like, sometimes it's because the travel time. Other times it's because they are potatoes with video game. So that is also a problem, you know? That basically covers everything that I wanted to talk about. I never got to play Scarlet Witch in this game here. Real quick, I just want to cover this. I'm going to go swing back over to this real fast so that we can just see this. Brand new Scarlet Witch skin, the Hellfire Gala Scarlet Witch skin, is going to be available right at the start of Season 2. I'm just going to show you the skin. Bang, this is the skin right here. Just going to hit play. Of course, my stupid ass face is in the way. Hang on. This is the skin. Looks very cool, in my opinion. Very, very sick looking skin. And you will be able to earn that in-game without having to pay real money, which in my opinion is huge, massive W. And with only playing, you have to finish 9 games in quick play, competitive or practice versus AI, and you get the skin for free, which is fucking great. You also get a nameplate, which we don't get to see the nameplate, I don't think. Let me just look through this real fast. Just just giving us the Mermaid Man treatment there. No. So you don't get to see the nameplate, but you do get a nameplate as well. And you can earn this immediately after Season 2 launches, so that's huge right there. We also have the team-ups are shown here. We're just going to quickly show off the team-up ability. This is with Emma Frost and Magneto / Scarlet Witch. I'm gonna just mute this because I don't care about what they have to say. Bang. So again, this is straight from the video. You're seeing the clones, right? This is Magneto. This is his clone. This is Psylocke. Behind her is her Psylocke clone. There you go. You can see it a little bit better now. So Psylocke clone, Magneto clone. Looks pretty cool. This is the team up with Emma Frost there. Looks pretty cool, man. Hopefully it works out good. Whatever it ends up being. We also see the team up with Doctor Strange and Wanda here. Again, the same thing as before that we saw in the video earlier. You're going to see she is going... Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Stop talking to my ear. You're going to see the kind of missile silo. She presses, that's her pressing the team up ability, and now she holds her primary fire, and you see it spawns the tiny little Doctor Strange portals around, and those fire the projectile into this Groot, and it looks like it's dealing a good amount of damage, but again, the Doctor Strange is also hitting this Groot, so it could just be like a shittier version of her primary fire, or it could be like a slightly better version of her primary fire, but with travel time. Hard to say right now, but this is essentially what we're getting for the team up. I do think it looks badass. From an art perspective, I think it looks pretty cool. So there's that. That covers everything, question mark. I think that's it. I'm just gonna hit refresh the old Twitter feed here just for a second. This is the new Emma Frost skin that you are going to be able to purchase inside of Season 2. It is different than her main skin. You can see the skin is black. It's got the X-Men kind of logo hanging off of her chain. You see the, you know, dem titties be out and about, ready to show off to the world, which is great. Hairstyle also changed there. Very cool looking skin in my opinion. Black and gold are two colors that really hit for me. You've still got some of the diamond across her skin as well. Very cool, you know, it goes on with all of these other female support in the game that are already, they have badass skins. Nothing has changed there. Just want to quickly just run through, make sure I'm not missing anything. This is the Bow to the Queen MVP intro that we are going to be seeing with Emma Frost here. You see, you'll be able to purchase this with the new skin. It's got some cool music attached to it. We're seeing the skin itself. Skin looks very cool. This is gameplay. Oh, we actually get to see what happens with her abilities. I didn't see this before, so let's react to this real quick. We get to see her abilities. This is presumably her primary fire. You see her telepathy kind of lights up here around her head as she hits a target. She appears to pull diamonds out of them. I'm not sure, like, what is this exactly? Like, is it, like, did you reach into their kidneys and pull out their kidney stones? What the fuck is this? I'm not sure, but it looks like you can damage both of them. When you damage the one, does it give a big burst of damage? Yes. So when you pull out their kidney stones, you're going to be able to shoot their kidney stones. I'm going to assume, actually, now that I'm seeing it in real time, I'm going to assume that this is one of her abilities or her right click. Right, so that's it. You hit them, you yank their kidney stones out, and then you use your primary fire to destroy their kidney stones. And as you do, it will deal a big burst of damage to the target, which is going to be good to help her secure a kill. You can see her reload there as well. Oh, she's got a shield. Holy shit, look at the size of this shield, bro. Bro, that shit looks sick. I'm just going to play it a couple of times so that everybody can see it. Bang. Holy fuck. Look at the size of this diamond shield, dude. Very cool. Just gonna going back just a hair again. Drop it. Diamond shield, very cool. You assume that that will do what all the other shields do. It appears to be stationary in place, as you can see her walking away with it, so that's really cool. Unlike Magneto's shield, which follows with him, Doctor Strange's shield, same thing, Captain America's shield, same thing, etc. This looks like a self-buff ability. It looks like she's activating her diamond skin. This will likely give her damage reduction. She says impervious when she uses the ability as well, which again further emphasizes the idea that this is probably a self-damage reduction buff here. She's got a holy shit, nuh-uh. She has Melania's move, bro. She has Melania's chokehold. So she uses her fists, as you can see, to beat the shit out of things. She is like super strong. If you guys didn't know, she has ice abilities. She has diamond abilities, like being able to turn her skin into diamond. She has telepathy, which means she can read your mind. She can communicate telepathically as well. And then in addition to that, she also has super strength. So you're going to see her beating the shit out of things with her fists. But she has Melania's I grab you by the throat ability, which is like one of my favorite abilities in Elden Ring. And you're going to see that on her. She lifts you up and slams your ass into the ground. Oh, and she can follow up with a kick too. Let's just see it again. Chokehold, bitch. Bro, and then you take... Okay, so let's just break this down very quickly. You grab them. Looks like the grab potentially deals some damage, although we don't see the health bar there. The slam definitely deals damage there. And then you can follow up with a kick. The kick deals damage. but not in addition to the kick and self-dealing damage, you are going to take more damage if you hit a wall or some kind of terrain. When you use the ability, you will knock them backwards. If they hit something, they will then take concussion damage, which that concussive damage is similar to the tractor cannon exotic shotgun in Destiny. For my Destiny people who are watching me, you know when you boop somebody with the tractor cannon and they go, whoa, and they fucking hit a wall, right? And they take a little bit of damage from the shotgun itself, but the main source of damage comes from actually hitting the wall. That's what you're seeing here, so that looks pretty cool. This damage over time ability, I'm not really sure what this is. She uses her telepathy to make like a big square. The square keeps going out. It appears to continue. Looks like she can reposition. The square actually looks like it goes for a pretty long time. Whatever this is, looks like it deals damage. I'm not sure if it gives her anything else. You could tell when she is impervious because her hair color changes. So as I'm looking right here, you see she's got blonde hair, she's got blonde hair. Now she's going to use the shield, still got blonde hair, still got blonde hair. This is the moment when she uses her, what I predict will be the self-damage reduction. Bang, and you can see her hair turns silver, right? Her hair turns diamond. Bang, you see it? See the diamond? Right, and then we back it up slightly, you see the blonde. Diamond, blonde. That's how you will know that she is inside of her damage reduction state. Her skin also turns to diamond, obviously. So she turns from white to white, but, you know, like skin tone white to, like, literally white. And then we've got whatever this is. I just want to hear what she says again. Maybe this is her ultimate. What did she say? I need to go back. I still can't tell what she says. If I turn on closed caption, can I see? No, there's no closed caption here. One more time. Let me know if you guys can hear what she says. I don't know what that is. Feel prison, yeah, feel prison, or like something presence, or something like that. I'm not really sure. Just one more time. It looks like a pretty strong AoE type of damage ability. Maybe it slows, we can't tell. Oh, we can tell. It definitely slows. You see this bot moving? See him start to move? It looks like it pulls the bot forward. No. So the bot starts moving, you can see him slowed. Okay? And then again, this is the Emma Frost skin. That's the emote you're gonna get, where she makes some frost, she gives the thumb down, and then she crunches it. It pulls. It pulls. Peel presence. Yeah, maybe. That sounds right to me. It pulls them, the bots don't move. Yeah, I didn't think that they moved, but if you look, she stops moving backwards, though, and the bot keeps moving, which is why I second-guessed myself about whether or not it would pull or whether the bot itself was moving. I know these bots don't move traditionally, but in the developer version of the game, they have the ability to move them, so they could just have somebody else press W, like take control of the bot and press W. Does that make sense? So again, like, watch this. You'll see her start to pull back and the bot will move forward, but then she'll stop and the bot will keep moving forward. That's the reason. You see? So there we go. So that was that. And again, we got the emote. Let's see the emote one more time. And she makes the ice in her hand, crushes it. You see the little puff of icy smoke, right? She gives the thumbs down, and then she's back to it. That is the X Revolution skin for Emma Frost coming out with the launch of Season 2. You're also going to be able to buy the King of Spartax skin, aka the Homelander skin for Star-Lord on the launch of Season 2 as well. So if you are a big Homelander fan, or you just know what this comic book reference is, going to be big W's for you as well. Good shit, man. Good shit overall. I am very excited for Season 2. I cannot express that enough. And it is starting to get late here, dude, and I gotta go have some lunch before I gotta go take care of the rest of the things today. But I feel like the idea of it is you hit, is if you get a hit, you get harder? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, the Emma skin, the Emma Frost skin looks really cool, in my opinion. I think that shit looks dope, dude. I don't know, man. Looks like we're gonna have to play some Wanda another day. So I guess I'll utilize this thumbnail, and this, and this, title on Monday, and I'll just, like, rebrand today's show into something else, because I think it's worth talking about. You know, I think it's worth diving into all of the changes that we had released over the last day or two. And just because I didn't get to play the game, that's not that big of a deal to me. Covering the news is arguably more important, in my opinion. So I'm glad that we got to do that. And I want to thank everybody for coming and hanging out with me today. We had Hannibal was here from the start of the show. We had Mike was here from the start of the show as well. Tyr has been hanging out for a long time. Thanks for being here, dude. Thank you, Hanny, for hanging out with me as well. And Stargazer, thanks for being here as well. I see you in the lurking, and for you other lurkers, I see you in addition to that. You guys are awesome. You make my days worth it. You make doing these shows not feel like I'm just fucking doing this for no reason. So thank you to everybody, and thank you for always coming and hanging out with me. That is going to do it for today's show. Hanny says, crush me with your diamond thighs, mama. Listen, Hanny, you gotta do what you gotta do. I understand. Yeah, so I will be back on Monday at 11 a.m. on East... wow. I'm just going to back this up a second so that I can stop fumbling my words. Crush me with your diamond thighs, mama, is a hilarious thing to say. And that's going to do it for today's show. I will be back on Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for some more show and the final week of Season 1.5 of Marvel Rivals. I am very much looking forward to everything coming in Season 2, and I hope you guys are too. Thank you all for coming and hanging out with me. Have a great weekend. Hanny, if you want to chat in Discord this weekend, send me a message and let me know. I'm Moonchild of Dude No Way, and I will see you in the next stream. Take care.